think there's probably about 6 or 7 players potentially that people are going to have an eye on today. And yeah, also pretty meaningful in the kind of top 4 race as well. So yeah, all ends up looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
Guys, I realised about 10 seconds ago we went live as Toby was halfway through. So we've missed the intro. I pressed the wrong button. Hello everyone, we are now live. Welcome to Scoutcast Match Day. We're watching the big one at the London Stadium, West Ham versus Leicester. We've not covered these two teams much this season, but I think this could be one of the games of the round. We're joined by Seb, who's very excited that the gyms are open tomorrow. We're also joined by Tobes, who is very eagerly awaiting Spurs United, and we will have team news for that. But without further ado, let's look at the game in hand. Seb, West Ham, Leicester. Not too many surprises in the West Ham team news. We expected either Bowen or Yarmolenko to play up top. Antonio injured. There is no other 9 in the squad. Selling Allah looks like a pack. Well, we'll see if that comes back to bite them. They moved to a back 5 when Masuaku was fit last week. That served them well. Cresswell in the back 3. And of course, no Declan Rice. But Mark Noble, this point in the season, usually looks like really exhausted, right? But he's barely played, so Noble slots in quite nicely. Are we thinking West Ham are in good shape?
I mean, West Ham have looked very good recently. Like you say, maybe missing a couple of key players, although I think they can do okay without Antonio. He's a very, very, very good player. But they did all right with him out earlier in the season and have recruited Lingard since, so they look all right. We'll see on Declan Rice, maybe a bit more important overall. Mark Noble, like you say, yeah, he's not played much this season. But then, how old is he now? Is he 35, 36? So influence in the dressing room for sure, but I don't know.
He's off in the summer as well, isn't he?
On the pitch.
He said he's going in the summer. I think I don't know if that's retirement or if we'll see him at, I don't know, playing at Southend or something. But yeah. What about Leicester, Tobes? No Perez, which means Dennis Pratt comes into the team, who's been injured and when he's played has always looked really, really good. So he's in the midfield alongside Tielemans, the Belgian lads. But other than that, it's kind of what we expected from Leicester with the front 2.
Yeah, I think so. I think the only other person that a few people will be a bit miffed about is no Maddison in the midfield. True. I think a lot of people were tipping him to start today. And whether you believe it or not, there do seem to be some rumours flying around on Twitter that he was involved in some sort of house party, which is why him and a couple of others have been disciplined and are not in the squad today. But yeah, as you say, it looks like the usual for them with the wing backs. I know you'll have your eye on Pereira, who's no doubt going to be pretty high up the pitch today. Castagna, who's probably on quite a few wild cards, also maybe on the left-hand side. Fofana, I've seen in a lot of wild cards as well, who is also in my wild card, although he's on the bench today for me. So yeah. I think the big 2 up top as well, Iheanacho and Vardy. Iheanacho's probably got to be the most popular pick on a wild card, I would have thought. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. There's loads of FPL interest. Like you've flagged all the Leicester players there, and obviously we got Jay Lings and Cresswell and the Souček owners as well for West Ham. Timestamps, guys. Who is ahead? I'm on 148, 49, 50.
Yeah, bang on.
Oh, 135, 36, 37.
Come on, Tobes.
Winning. For once, we're winning.
it's since Seb's moved house. We're just jumping the gun, aren't we? So we've seen a bright start. It was Bowen on the free kick for West Ham, back stick. Lingard's down, sort of scratching his head. He looks fine. There's so many Lingard owners. I think his ownership's probably around 35 to 40%.
Get him off. Concussion, get him off. It's a head injury.
What do you guys need today? Like, who have you got playing? I've just got Ricardo. Tobes.
Lingard is only 22%. So I say only.
Is he really only 22%
I feel like it's one of those Twitter ones. You know, everyone on Twitter has him, whereas maybe other people are a little bit slower to pick it up.
I saw last weekend he is at 35, but maybe that was 35% in the top 10k. I always get confused at ownership. Possibly. Because we often see the ownership levels in 10k and then...
Yeah, you don't need to worry about the top 10k, mate.
I don't know why I'm looking there. Yeah, I'm hoping for a Lingard blank. And I'm hoping no Antonio means it's more likely to get a Lingard blank, but we shall see. Bowen might be one to watch if Antonio is out longer than we think. If Bowen's going to get the starting spot as number 9, he's cheap midfielder. So players you've got playing today, Seb, on this particular game. Anyone?
No one at all.
Oh, that's cool. So you kind of, yeah.
I'm doing some scouting. I didn't wildcard. I used 2 free transfers, brought in Jota and Alexander-Arnold, which went all right. Captain Jota, so not perfect. But yeah, I guess I'm having a look at what's to come from these two teams. We spoke, a couple of weeks ago now when we're talking about wildcards and how both Leicester and West Ham have some good fixtures, especially in a little while. So maybe I'll end up owning some of these players in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I think this one is, these are two pretty evenly matched teams, both in terms of stats and performances recently. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to call. It could go either way. So I'm quite happy to just sit, watch, take some learnings from it.
Yeah, the two guys I'm scouting are the two number 9s. Iheanacho with a shot from range, comfortably saved right down the middle. But Bowen and Iheanacho are two I'm looking at. I might want to replace a Bamford, or I might want to replace Gundogan or Rafinha. Probably not Rafinha, but possibly Gundogan. And Tobes, you might be looking to replace Neto with someone like a Bowen. I think they're almost the same price. So you'll I guess, be scouting today the Leicester and West Ham midfielders for potentially Neto, or maybe he's one you hold. But who have you got playing, Tobes? Because you said Fofana's on your bench. Have you got anyone in your 11?
Yeah, I've got Iheanacho, so I am on a wild card, and yeah, Iheanacho was kind of first name on the team sheet sort of thing at that price. At that price, 5.7, 5.9, he is like he can do no wrong really. If he does well, great, he's an absolute bargain. But yeah, you can't. I don't think you can call anyone like price like that a trap. Yeah, I do have Fofana as well, but he's on my bench today. The reason for that is I like absolute dream run of fixtures coming up after this game: West Brom, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Newcastle. Like you couldn't probably write a better four games to be playing. Yeah, Leicester haven't been brilliant defensively recently, but you play the fixtures in that aspect, and I expect a few clean sheets out of them. And yeah, Fofana's probably as nailed as anyone back there at the moment. But yeah, you're right. In terms of kind of scouting, like I put Neto in on a wild card, 33 minutes in, he's off. Good start. So yeah, there's a few kind of options around there. Lingard is definitely one that I'm looking at. Bowen as well. Interested to see how he does today.
Yeah, guys in the chat, loads with Iheanacho, loads with Lingard and Cresswell. Louis thanking Toby for the Trent captaincy he went with. Good pick, Louis. Pathan, Toby and Seb, nice to see you guys back. Any news, Seb, on Rafinha's injury? Louis asks. Do we think he'll be ready for next week? Do we know much about it? I mean, he went off literally with 30 seconds to go, didn't he?
Nothing that I've seen, I'm afraid. We'll probably have to wait on it. Bielsa isn't necessarily one to let anything come out, although when he's asked in press conferences, he's very honest. So we probably just have to wait for those questions.
Of course he is. He's managed in like France and Spain and Italy. Like these guys in Europe are usually pretty good at press conferences. It's only in the UK our managers go, no, I'm not telling you anything. That's why Ancelotti and Bielsa are two of the best in our league, and they're the two that have spent all their time overseas.
Or you just do a Dean Smith, and even though your player's got like a cruciate ligament injury, you could go, oh yeah, he could be available for next week. Could be. He's done it twice, hasn't he? This year, he did it with Barkley, and he's done it with Grealish, where he's gone, oh yeah, no, we're hoping he'll be fit for next week, and we haven't seen either of them for like 2-3 months.
Just had a little Google to see if I'm behind. About an hour ago, Leeds Live put up an article talking about yesterday's match, and a quote from Bielsa, presumably this is post-match, saying he hasn't asked about Rafinha. So like I say, he hasn't inquired yet, but he doesn't have the feeling it is anything too serious. So sounds positive at the moment.
Yeah, no midweek fixtures either. It always helps teams like that.
It did kind of look like a dead leg, right? If it's a challenge I'm thinking of.
Sorry, Tobes. Iheanacho was in there.
Ooh, no right foot. What a server. He's got a right foot like mine.
A point on Iheanacho I was going to raise when you mentioned him, Tobes. We were discussing off air how obviously Maddison is out, and maybe that'll delay his return to the team permanently. The longer Maddison is out, the more time Iheanacho definitely gets in the team.
Yeah,
like he may well keep his place whether Maddison is back or not, but we saw him really come to the forefront when Maddison and Barnes are out. So without Maddison, there is no reason for him to stop playing and stop playing well.
Yeah. Keep having those house parties, Maddison. That's what I say.
Any chance we get that Jota assist, says Eric. Jota got robbed yesterday of an assist. You would have all seen, or maybe some of you had seen the Instagram post he put out to Trent this morning, and you can see on the still image, he absolutely gets it. But never mind. And I've been asked who my captain was, and my captain, Moshe, was Alonso. Who I always knew would either play or wouldn't play. I didn't expect Alonso coming off the bench, so actually I'm going to pretend I called it really well. But I swapped my my vice from Kane. It's been on Kane all week to Jota at the 11th hour. So yeah, silly me. But
you know the Trent. Obviously, a few people captain Trent. I didn't. And I'll be honest, I didn't even really think about it. I went De Bruyne. I was always going De Bruyne. I had my vice on Gundogan. Right. I figured if De Bruyne didn't play, I didn't think he'd play at all.
Oh, okay.
Gundogan, I thought would be a decent bet against Leeds.
Yeah.
I then took it off Gundogan at the last moment because I saw a tweet from someone who takes the aggregate of City fan lineup predictions, weights it by skill, and they had Gundogan at like something like 20%, KDB at 0%. And I was like, okay, it's not perfect, but they don't have an FPL bias. That's quite a good look.
Yeah.
So I switched it literally at the last moment to Jota without really thinking it through too much. Don't think Jota was a bad captain shout in the end. He was okay, didn't get any points. But if I'd maybe thought about it longer, I could have gone with Trent. But the interesting one on Trent, I think, is that he didn't get a clean sheet. That's what you were captaining him for.
That's what
but
I didn't go
did
Trent.
Get a goal.
Yeah, didn't consider
and it's kind of one of those really good examples of skill and luck.
In the last minute.
But the skillful call was Trent Alexander-Arnold could get an assist, could get a clean sheet. Great captain shout. But the actual returns you got were lucky. So it's like a perfect little skill and luck coming together there. Fair enough, he got some points.
I see a scout article coming from Seb next week on that.
I think it would sound too bitter.
Jan, just
nothing
to go
wrong
back,
with that, mate. Nothing wrong with bitter.
just to go back to the Alonso shout. What's interesting now is where do you see going forward? Like obviously everybody thought Chilwell played in the Champions League, right? He'd then be rested. Alonso would play against a low block team. He didn't. Chilwell played again against Crystal Palace. Chelsea have a couple of big games coming up next, right? They've got Porto and I think City in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Who plays at left back for those two games?
Chilwell, I think, if he can play 3 games in a week, that's going to be the real quiz. By the way, Souček just got his 6th booking of the season. A lot of Souček owners -1 there. And he won't want to be playing in a midfield without the legs of Rice on a yellow card for 80 minutes. So one to watch there, Noble and Souček in the middle for West Ham. It's hope. I think so. Chilwell has to play against Porto. Like the Porto performance was so good away from home in the Champions League. We don't need to score goals. There is no need to go Alonso. And interestingly, when Chilwell plays, often the sub that comes on at left back, if anyone comes on, it is Emerson. They are way more similar. You don't need to put Alonso on for Chilwell unless you're chasing a game and you need goals, right? So Emerson, we've seen in the Champions League coming in. I think Chilwell starts against Porto. If he's okay to play his 3rd game in a week, he also plays against Man City, and then back in the Premier League, Alonso comes in for the whoever game, Brighton, I think it is. You can't play against Man City in a semi-final of a cup competition and go all out. And Tuchel's more experienced than that. He ain't going to go all out and play Alonso. Alonso cannot defend. Chilwell can.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds good. So, like from your point of view, you'll be happy to keep Alonso and very confident he'll play against Brighton. Yeah,
fairly confident. If he doesn't, then it was a punt I was willing to take. Like these guys are 2% owned; it's worth it. Alonso's not at the price he was in years gone by, so I'll take it.
Chances of you captaining Alonso against Brighton?
Oh, no chance. No, because and you know what? In all these next few weeks, there's very obvious captain shouts, right? Yeah. There's a lot of Kane shouts in there. There wasn't one this week. Unless you own Salah this week or a Sterling Jesus, a City player we knew would start. I said there was no obvious captain shout this week, which is why it just felt the week to go differential. Of course, if I owned Salah, I would have gone there. And I've mentioned that on the FPL show. But no, I'm happy with those gambles when they don't pay off because I still feel it's right. Cool. Oh, is that Ricardo on the edge of the box? Dazzling feet from Pereira. But
do either of you... sorry, Jan, I know you don't have your triple captain left. Seb, do you still have your triple captain left?
I do not. Only the free hit.
Okay.
Which I think could be quite a good one to have left, though, to be fair, with 35 coming up.
Yeah, let's talk chip strategy at half time, actually, because loads will have one of those 2 chips available. And between the 3 of us, Tobes has got his triple captain. I know what he's looking at. And you guys probably know what we're looking at with our free hit. So let's delve into that a little bit more at half time. We'll also touch base on the new sticker album that Toby bought last night, which is quite exciting.
I've been doing it today. I'm so excited about it.
Any guesses what sticker album he's gone for? Let us know in the chat. I'll give you a clue. It's not a Merlin album. It's Panini. So if you want to know your years. Guys, let us know who you've captained. I'm interested to know. I wonder if there's any out there that have gone bold and gone a Lingard or an Iheanacho, or if you own Vardy, then perhaps loads will be looking at Vardy this weekend. And Sumant's already letting us know where his triple captain's going next week. And I think it's going to be you and way others. Could we... Oh, we'll talk about it at half time. I'm going to ask you guys about effective ownership. And could we see a 200% plus?
I was thinking about this today. I don't think we will, but I think it's going to be close. I reckon we're going to get to about 180. Because I think 99% of players in the top... Are we talking like generally or top 10K?
No, I think top 10K definitely it will be. But generally it's going to be close, isn't it? We saw 170% a few weeks back on Kane. It's going to be close. But let's go there in half time. Seb, where are we at with the game so far? It's 0-0. No big chances yet.
No, I mean, it's been pretty even, I think. Lingard just made a nice little break down the right, but came to nothing. We've seen a couple of things for Iheanacho, as you've called out on the edge of the area. Pereira as well. but probably just trading blows at this moment. We've been drawn into our chat, haven't we? Which probably states how there hasn't been too much action.
Yeah, interesting that both teams seem like they're playing okay, Vardy tries threading the ball through. It drops to...
is that Pratt there that dropped to? Yeah, nearly got to Pratt.
Pratt and then Pereira trying to pick up the pieces. But, I mean, I just saw the West Ham attack, and Castagne's in on the left, but Fabianski gets there. On the West Ham attack, it looked like it was kind of Fornals, Bowen, Lingard as a front three, which we know it is, but it looked like it was almost Lingard, Bowen in a 2 with Fornals in the 10 role. I'm really interested to see how that develops. Is Bowen going to slot into the Antonio role, or actually is he going to go 2 up top and play Lingard and Bowen almost as split strikers?
I mean, Lingard is definitely a runner either way, right? So whether he's starting, whether he's starting on the right, whether he's starting in a traditional 10 position or off a front, he's going to carry the ball both at feet and run off the ball into those positions, you would think. Yeah,
one thing that I'm definitely seeing in this patterns of play is Fornals playing as a traditional number 10 between the lines. And Fornals we have seen playing out wide quite a bit. I read an article this morning, I can't remember where it was, comparing Fornals as the new Iniesta, which I was like, whoa, steady on. I know he's highly regarded in Spain. I remember watching Spain under 21s 2 summers ago against Italy, and Fornals and Ceballos were both outstanding. But then they've moved into senior football, and perhaps it's harder to shine, but both got loads of talent. But don't think we can be comparing
just looking at Bowen closing the ball down here on the right hand side, coming from probably that striker position.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say maybe it's like a 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1?
Yeah, 1-2. I think.
Where depending on which side of the pitch the ball is going, you're obviously pushing not dissimilar to how Leeds have done with Bamford and stuff. You're dragging your striker over to try and close down. The second most advanced player will push up to fill that space to drop a pass coming in, and then you've got your midfield to obviously sit and holding.
Yeah, and just looking now, and you'll see that it's coming in 10 seconds, Seb, the overlapping centre-back run of Cresswell. Tobes, I don't know if you caught that. Cresswell was obviously in a back 3, and he's got that sort of the inside overlap on Masuaku, still encouraged to get forward.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've seen a lot of love. Well, I say a lot of love. I've seen a bit of love for Masuaku, because if he is going to play... Yeah, if he is going to play essentially as a left winger in this formation, 4.3 million, he's probably, and obviously Cresswell's going to get you more points, but in terms of kind of value for money, it's probably hard to beat Masuaku in the West Ham back line.
Earlier in the season, I went Masuaku. 2 weeks later, Tobes went Cresswell. Masuaku got injured 2 weeks later, so I had him for 4 weeks, got 0 returns, and then Tobes went on this amazing run of Cresswell returns every single week. And I remember that well, Tobes, because I was thinking, just going to go for the guy playing higher up, but obviously Cresswell's the dead ball threat.
Yeah, you also missed out on big Stewie Dallas, didn't you, at that point early on, when a lot of people were bringing him in off the back of, I think, a goal, and there was the big kind of Eiling or Dallas debate was still going on. It was like, just put Dallas in and get it over with.
Speaking of West Ham chances, got Cresswell there putting a corner in, and they had up on the screen that West Ham have got the most goals from set pieces this season with 16. So there's a lot of Cresswell involvement there. And I think it was Souček up for it as always. Easily gathered by Schmeichel. He took it in the end just under some pressure. But immediately a chance there, Cresswell finding Souček.
Yeah, this season I've not had Cresswell, Dallas, Diaz, and I've had Justin for 1 week and he blanked.
Souček you've not had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 4 defenders got to be the highest. Those 4 defenders I mentioned have got to be the 4 highest owned at any point this season, I'd have thought. Because Justin was leading, Cresswell was leading at some point. I think Diaz and Dallas have both been top at some point as well. So, those 4 have just been phenomenal this season, haven't they?
Trent was probably up there at the beginning, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and Robbo had a little phase as well, I think.
I started with both Robbo and Trent, had them for a while.
How would either of you feel if you owned Diaz right now, having obviously been not dropped but rested yesterday? Do you think need to shift him on, or do you think no, that's just his rest and he'll play every other minute of the Premier League?
I think he'll play every other minute.
Yeah, if I owned him, this is maybe the wrong time to sell. You should have sold just before it was coming, just before he missed out, right? You'd think on balance he's playing the next few at least. But I don't own him, so it's maybe hard to put myself in those shoes. I definitely wouldn't buy him. I have Cancelo, but there's a little bit of a different logic there. We think he'll play less often, but he's got more attacking threat when he does play. And frankly, the reason I own him is because I had 2 free transfers, not a wild card.
Yeah, fair play.
Bowen hurt, says David in the chat. Not seeing anything yet. Tobes, you seen anything on Bowen?
No, I can't. He's not in screen at the moment. He should be now. He looks all right. He's moving around pretty freely to me.
He just tried to play Lingard free, didn't he? I thought, no, he's moving around all right. Sort of in that number 10 if Lingard is beyond him position. But as we said, it does seem pretty fluid up front.
I feel really bad for Bowen because when Lingard came in, Moyes went, okay, obviously you're starting. And I expected Fornals to drop out. But Fornals, again, maybe we don't see it. Seeing the comparisons to Iniesta, but also here, great cross in from Masuaku. And Bowen does collide with the post. Ouch, sport hurts. Go hard or go home.
How far behind are we? That guy was miles ahead of us.
Ouch.
Yeah, that does look sore. That's like dead leg territory right above the knee, isn't it?
Yeah, he's fine apparently, according to the chat, which is really interesting. Yeah. But that was a heavy hit, and he fully commits. Yeah, I felt bad for Bowen because Lingard comes in, Fornals didn't drop out. It was Bowen that lost his place. And Bowen, I think, until that point, had been one of West Ham's best players. What's your take, Seb?
Just on him hitting the post there, or colliding with the post, that felt unnecessary. He needs sliding from so far out to get to the post. He just hasn't got his eyes on it, I guess. Like, I swear he could have avoided that. But yeah, on Burn himself, I mean, very, very impressive in the Championship. And really, I think he carried that over in his early West Ham days as well. Yeah. So like you say, probably unfortunate. Maybe just a factor of the team at the time. David Moyes obviously knows Lingard and saw something we didn't see, to be fair. I think we did the first match where we were like, why is he starting? And then he scored 2 goals or assisted a couple? I forget.
Yeah.
So maybe just the balance of the team. He didn't want both of them immediately, especially with Antonio in there. We were talking about at that time, how Souček would play the double pivot. So yeah, maybe just needs to earn that place back and work out a system that is balanced with both him and Lingard in there.
Seb, would you, if you were on a wild card, would you have included Lingard in your wild card? I know you tweeted a few days ago, didn't you, about how he is such an incredible anomaly in terms of the chances that he's had and the goals that he's scored. And yeah, he's massively overperforming his XGI.
So the really important thing on that is that he is massively overperforming in the last few matches and for West Ham in general, to the point where both he has never been this good ever before in his career. In fact, he's underperformed his XG in the past.
Yeah.
He also is currently overperforming Messi this season, obviously much smaller sample size. However, all of that in mind, he still in the last 6 has an XGI of about 3.16, which is basically the same as Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. So just because he's overperforming doesn't mean he still couldn't return really good points. So
Newcastle next week.
Exactly. As long as you know that so far he maybe has been a bit lucky or has been, red hot form, that's fine. Know that, take it forward. Overperformance in the past doesn't mean underperformance in the future, right? Mm-hmm. It's not something that evens itself out. Every game is unique. If he does drop off, he could still return great points. And I think I did include him in a wildcard draft for that reason. He's, even with the overperformance, he's shown he's got good numbers, he's returned points, and they have really good fixtures.
Do you know what? This is going slightly off on a tangent now. I don't know, Gianni, I know you're into your poker. I've been watching a bit of poker recently, and something I've never seen before is when both 2 players or more are committed, they've now started saying, how many times do you want to run the hand through? So sometimes they'll agree, we'll see 3 flops or 4 flops. The idea being that it reduces the amount of variance involved. So if you're basically a 3-1 underdog and you run it 4 times, you will statistically you will win one of those runs and then not be eliminated. Whereas just running it through once, you're far more likely to be eliminated. I just it kind of reminded me a bit of FPL, and when we talk about variance and sample size, I was kind of it's quite a nice little comparison.
I guess the one important thing to keep in mind with that stuff is so on anything like probabilistically based, like flipping a coin, for example, is a good example. I'm not saying that people's returns are completely luck-based, but it's just a nice analogy. If you were to line up 10 coin flips in a row, you would say it's probably going to be 50-50 heads, tails, ignoring it landing on its edge, because we know those are the odds. It's 1 in 2 for a heads or a tails. If, however, you flipped it 9 times and you have received 9 heads, that is incredibly unlikely, but the chance of the 10th flip being a heads is still 50-50.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, obviously, there's so much more in football, so I'm not claiming it's that simple.
Yeah.
But just because Lingard has done X in the past, doesn't mean that's going to affect his future returns.
But that's what's interesting, isn't it? There's a psychological kind of built-in thing in your mind where if you're at a roulette wheel and you see, there's been 9 reds, you go, well, I'm gonna go on black because black is due. It's got to be a black.
Bowen.
It's no different.
Bowen, not Lingard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called the gambler's fallacy, where you think things will return to the mean when they're not correlated. Of course, some things are, and especially if we're looking to predict ahead, that's when it's useful. Or have you seen something there?
Yeah, only a snapshot from Vardy, but Vardy on the edge of the area, when he does have a shot on, you think, oh, okay, I'm going to see something here.
Two very cheap saves for Fabianski already so far.
Both, one from Iheanacho, one from Vardy, both from range, easy. Talking of that kind of 9th and 10th combo on a toss of a coin, at uni, Tobes and I, second year, just moved into our student house. Our housemate, Bowen.
West Ham are in here. Sorry, Jan. West Ham are in here with... Oh, no, they're not.
Corner. Bowen had space, though. He's looking to pick someone out. And our mate is working at the student bar. They're doing a line clean, so he comes back and polishes off all the beer, gets back late. Tobes and I are watching roulette on the TV, don't know why. And he comes in and we go, let's pound quids in. You're red, I'm black. And anyway, he lost something like 12 or 15 on the spin, and so we were like, I think they were £2 bets. So he owed us 30 quid. He owed Tobes and I 30 quid. We're like, how has he lost all these 50-50 bets in a row? So we say, look, forget the 30 quid, give us a tenner. But you got to get it now. You got to run to the cash machine naked, and we lived about a mile from a cash machine, so we've got it.
And he did it.
we've got it all on camera, and he does it. And I'm following him on one camera. This is 2008 when mobile phones are rubbish, and he runs to the cash machine. Tobes is in a car filming him from another, and we get pulled over by the police not because he's naked, but because the car goes down a one-way street the wrong way, just to make sure that they can continue filming. Oh dear. Hilarious. You can find it on YouTube. It's called The Naked Mile. Not to be mistaken for the American Pie episode or film Naked Mile, but it's got a fair few hits, hasn't it, Tobes?
Yeah, it's got a fair few thousand. I think, you show a bit of nudity on YouTube and the views rack up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Back to the game. Some snapshots from West Ham. From Leicester, and some tricky play from West Ham. They're trying to get in behind using the pace, but no big opportunities. Mohammed has asked, Gianni, what do you think of Havertz? I'm very salty because of Alonso's rest against Porto. Made me not want to captain Havertz. Okay. Don't be salty about Alonso. I think he probably still starts the next Premier League game, but Havertz is definitely one to watch. He played number 9 yesterday. He does look very comfortable in the 9. They interviewed him. He did a lot at the end of last season as the 9, played a lot there for Leverkusen. And on his interview post-match, he said, yeah, I'm very comfortable, very happy playing there. It does seem against certain opponents which play deeper, Havertz will be the 9. Opponents that play the high line, like a Liverpool, of course, Werner will play and it will be in behind. But against the likes of Palace, Tobes, Havertz is one you quite like.
Yeah, I mean, he was great yesterday. To be fair, Chelsea as a whole were really, really good yesterday. Very, very impressive. I think you can throw into that the fact that Crystal Palace were shocking and I think are fully on the beach. They've got enough points to be safe. They're not going to do anything, win anything. Roy's got about 10 minutes on his contract left. They've got about 14 players at the club who are all out of contract in the summer. Just feels like a team that are like, what's happened? Something's happened.
Fofana's down, Tobes.
Oh, is he? Good job he's on my bench. Is he like badly down?
I don't know. He's rolling around holding his shoulder.
Yeah, okay, that's not good.
Was that he went up for a header, didn't he?
With Souček.
Like he was contesting a ball.
Oh yeah, he went down very quickly and very like he was in agony. Let's have a look. Oh, it's weird. It didn't really look.
He holds.
Really look.
Oh, he's up. He's up, but he's not happy.
Yeah, it's fine. I think Fofana is class. We're going to see Fofana do big things, I think, in the game in future. We'll be talking about Fofana at like a huge Euro powerhouse, I think.
Yeah, they paid 30-odd million for a 19-year-old. Like, was it St Etienne? You don't do that unless... I mean, I think he's France's under-20 captain or whatever he was at the time. But yeah, the strength and depth they've got in their youth teams, if you're shining in those squads, you're going to be a serious player, right, Seb?
I fully agreed. I don't think he really has, age taken into account, I don't think he really has a weakness. He can pretty much do everything in the back and bring the ball out all right. He's a very, very promising player.
Yeah. Seb, did you see the Chelsea highlights? Matt said Havertz's little flick over the defender was lovely. Did you see it? The ball comes over the top. It's like a 50-yard ball or 30-yard ball. First time left foot over, Gascoigne style. Hits it with the right. It's saved. But the skills to do that. Oh, there's been action. I'm going to come to you on Havertz in a minute. But West Ham are on the attack here. And Souček's got the ball in the middle. Plays it out wide to Soufal. And we know we're on a slight delay. Lingard's got the ball in loads of space, but he's sort of 40 yards out. But West Ham keeping lots of possession. Cresswell's passed it to Masuaku. Masuaku takes on Ricardo, does him, cross comes
totally
in.
Skins him.
Oh, it's great play from Masuaku. It falls though to Soufal, back on the right. Oh, wow. Jay Lings.
Was it Lingard?
Yeah.
It was. Unbelievable. Was it like a bit?
I've not seen it yet.
Soufal assist, and it comes to the edge of the box. Half volley, Lingard, first time. He literally hits it as it bounces.
Was it a deflection? It looked like awkward how it kind of went in the goal.
Yeah, Schmeichel gets flat-footed, doesn't he? Which does suggest it might take a nick, but hey, take nothing away from Lingard. That's a lovely catch.
I'm hoping that it's like off target and given his own goal, but I don't think it will be. But Soufal's ball's not that great because he doesn't. Oh, that definitely takes deflection. But the fact Lingard hits it as it's about to bounce, it's really good skill because Soufal actually
be a good angle
him
here.
up.
You're going to see a good angle here of whether it's an own goal or not.
Oh no, I don't think it even takes a deflection. I think he just curls it around the defender nicely. Wow, he curls it.
So what's caught Schmeichel? Has he just not seen
He
it?
basically, I'm going to go out on a limb here. He mishits the hell out of that, and it like comes off his shin because he hits it into the ground first, which like loops it around the defender. If he's meant that, it's unreal, but I don't think he does.
I think he's used the defender, curled it round.
He definitely mishits that.
Do you reckon?
It's a miss it.
It will. I mean, not to the point where like it's stupidly lucky. He's achieved what he was trying to do, score a goal from that position. But the way he sets himself, that comes off, what do you reckon? Like the bottom of his instep, his heel almost, spins into the ground and goes round. I don't think he's tried to produce that curl and a bounce into that corner from there. I think he's tried to guide it on the half volley and slightly caught it late.
Is that Cresswell yellow card as well?
Yeah, but it could have been a Souček. Souček and Cresswell both go for a 50-50 with Iheanacho. And yeah, Cresswell gets the final foul in. But Souček's got to be careful because he's also on a yellow. So that's Cresswell and Souček booked. But yeah, going back to the goal, you boys might be right. I look forward to seeing more replays of that as the day goes on. But Schmeichel definitely had traffic in front of him, which is why he's caught flat-footed. But again, even if he shanks it, it's still a goal from Lingard that's come from, what's the XG on that? 0.03?
Half volleys are difficult. That's going to be very low. And I mean, how many goals are actually a truly clean hit, especially from that far out? We saw Lampard make a career of, I swear, deliberately going for deflections. He would just hit it hard and low into some bodies and get a goal. Fair play. That's a good.
Was it even a half volley in the end? To me, it looked like a volley that he just volleyed straight into the ground.
I'm not sure if he gets there before the bounce or after the bounce, but it's as the ball is about to touch the floor, Lingard hits it. Soufal's pass to him is shocking. Like it's quite an easy, just roll it along the edge of the box, and he stitches him up with a bobbler.
It is remarkable though. This run Lingard is on. It's another, like you say, the XG on that shot will be remarkably low. And it's another goal.
Lingard causing problems again, but Schmeichel clears.
So earlier when we were saying that Lingard is definitely better than Messi. He's definitely better than Messi. He's got the stats to prove it.
There's a lot of Lingard's better than Messi in the chat as well.
If Messi had done that, there wouldn't be a debate around whether or not he mishit it or shinned it. We'd all be going, oh, what a finish. He'd obviously meant it.
Maybe.
There's loads of questions coming in. Robbie's asking about Reece James. Looked sharp when he came on. Havertz, we've obviously touched on, but just going back to that, Seb, you mentioned Havertz. It's all right. You got some pop-up windows, Tobes.
Sorry, no, I was watching a replay of the Lingard thing with like Arabic commentary on there. Yeah, sorry, I'll turn that down.
Is Havertz an FPL option, Seb?
I picked him as a differential a few weeks ago on Scoutcast, but mostly because I was devoid of other options. He finally came good just about. I feel like it's one of those ones, a bit like maybe Timo Werner, that we keep in our back pocket for next season. I'm not sure if you can rely on him starting enough, especially with Chelsea, not just competing in the Premier League. And there's only a few games left. You really want to be able to target the good fixtures. If he doesn't start one of them, you could have missed 30% of your potential returns. We're not short of other options. We're seeing one of them, Lingard, perform now. So maybe we hold off and just keep him in the back of our mind for next season.
Yeah. And again, next season, there is a good chance he'll still be listed as a midfielder, which is one to check out.
I mean, hey, if you're chasing and you've got a feeling about it, go for it. But I think you just need to know that it's a risk. It's not a nailed thing by any means.
Yeah. So we've had a Leicester clean sheet wipeout. Isn't great for some of us, i.e. me. And we've had Lingard goal. Last week, when Lingard scored, my rank, looks like Ricardo's about to get booked. Brilliant.
That is a booking, isn't it, all day?
Christ. So that's 1 point I'm getting out Ricardo again this week. It's Mike Dean reffing again. Brill.
Yeah.
There'll be loads of bookings today. We've already seen 3 or 4, haven't we? Cresswell, Souček, Ricardo, all booked early.
Was that for on Lingard there, the yellow? I've only seen it first time.
4 hours. And it's not. It's a body check.
It seemed harsh. It seemed like he almost earned it by going over a player that was stood still.
Yeah. With Mike Dean, you get no credit. You foul, and it's kind of a yellow, unless it's like one of those really soft fouls. Anything that's a little bit more than... He doesn't ever go, one more of them and you're in the book. He just goes...
That's definitely a foul, but yellow maybe seems harsh. He arguably could have played advantage.
It's his first foul.
The ball was away.
First foul Ricardo's committed all game as well. I think... Yeah. Whatevs.
Genuinely fuming.
Buddy. It's probably not the difference between your current rank and 10k. So
no, it's definitely not.
Let's not stress about
And do you know what? Ricardo's not even in my team for a clean sheet today. Like, he's actually one that is in my team for attacking returns. He plays... When there's one up top, he plays in a front three most of the time.
His numbers have been... I had him for the exact same reason as you until a little while ago.
Yeah, you sold him 2 weeks back, didn't you?
I did, yeah. His numbers have been slightly disappointing, considering his history from like right back or right wing back, considering he really is playing right mid most of the time. I kind of want a bit more from him. Do you think he's affected by that injury still?
He did, yeah, and he didn't get in the Portugal squad. I know there was doubts over his fitness as it went into the international break, but he was fit enough for the bench for Leicester, so I was really surprised. The fact he didn't get in the Portugal squad makes me think he's probably not going to the Euros, which this is a guy that was starting for Portugal a year or two ago, and actually one of their standout players. So.
I guess they've got Cancelo, they've got Guerrero. Like, it's not.
The rise of Cancelo's definitely shafted him. When Cancelo wasn't getting a game at Inter and Juve, it was fine, but they needed Ricardo. But now Cancelo is what he is.
Good for his club career. If he gets a summer off to train, keep fit and whatnot, maybe he comes back better next year.
Yeah, and he'll be he'll be 5 million in FPL next season because of his points in the last season, which again is one to watch.
Yeah, that could be a nice shout.
What happened at Sheffield United? They won 5-0 and he came off at half time.
Yeah, he got injured. He came off injured at half time, and again, like, Sheffield United didn't even have a shot. That was the only time I was going to get 6 points from my guy, and he went off injured. At 45,
classic.
Yeah. And Albrighton is a great replacement. Like, we saw Albrighton starting last week, and Ricardo's been so out of form, you know. We came on with 20 left, but Albrighton
was really good when he came on from that match as well. I think he got an assist, didn't he?
He did. He got the assist.
I owned Pereira. I think that might be the last.
You sold him off the back of that, didn't you? I remember it.
Quite possibly. I remember thinking, like, I've been robbed of probably 8 points there at least.
Yeah, it's funny because you look at the fullbacks at Leicester, and Justin was obviously like sensational this year. Castagna started the season so well, but hasn't been brilliant recently, and same as Ricardo. The fullback positions at Leicester seem to be nowhere near as attractive when they've got a front two with Iheanacho and Vardy, and then you've got a number 10 playing. It's kind of, that's the front three. When you've just got Vardy, the front three is often the wing backs and Vardy, so it does make a difference with that change in system for Leicester.
I think also, I don't know if this is just like anecdotal and got no basis whatsoever, but Vardy always seems to be way less effective in a front two. Like, every time I've seen him play alongside Iheanacho, he just doesn't look as effective as he does when he's up there on his own.
Yeah, Iheanacho's been effectively stealing some of his points, a bit like Richarlison and DCL. Like, you look at Everton in DCL by himself, and all the points go his way. As soon as he's partnered with a partner with Richarlison, well, he nicks all the points. Yeah,
this actually, I mean, obviously a long way to go in this game, but a West Ham win here makes the top four even more condensed, doesn't it? We're looking at, as it stands, Leicester third on 56, West Ham on 55, Chelsea on 54, then, the kind of Liverpool, Spurs and Everton's 3 or 4, 5 points back.
Iheanacho, Tobes.
Yeah, another corner. It's all about that left foot, isn't it?
It's all about the left foot.
Heavily left-footed. Yeah, he just looks awkward, doesn't he? Anytime the ball's on his right foot, it's like, it's got to be shifted.
By the way, I think we've probably mentioned this before, so it's nothing too new. But Yuri Tillmans could play for any club in the world.
Sensational.
Like, he could play next to Toni Kroos for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
he is so very good.
He won't be. I think he'll be at Leicester next year because of the sort of. I think we'll see restricted spending this year because of the COVID effects. But after that, so sees. Oh, West Ham have got time and space here. Soufal is in. He's got acres of space. Willie pick out a pass. You had to go earlier. Fornals was begging for it, wasn't he, Toes?
Yeah, it's another rubbish bit of play. It was like, Soufal's picked up an assist here, but he's made 2 rubbish choices and 2 rubbish passes. Yeah,
I'm just seeing this now. This is one of those.
What does he do, Seb? Does he play it to Lingard?
Ricardo Pereira does amazing there on the recovery because he
is
removes all of the time and space that Soufal has. But Soufal does the wrong thing. He's got all this space ahead of him. He should press that advantage. He slows and delays, which is exactly what Pereira's trying to make him do. Other people catch up, and then he maybe cuts it back to kind of no one.
Yeah, Yeah, he Fornals is just begging for it, and he does aim for Lingard. He ignores Bowen, who's the better option, the second best option, and goes for the third best option in Lingard, just because Lingard's probably been, I don't know, so clinical of late. But poor decision.
You see the replay here. He could almost first touch, just play it straight into the middle there, but he slows and slows. Ricardo does amazing, and then there are 3 or 4 Leicester players back, and the chance is gone.
Yeah.
But had Lingard popped that in the top corner somehow, which we're now expecting him to do, we'd have gone, oh, what ball?
Yeah, well done for delaying that pass.
2 rank passes, 2 worldy goals.
Oh, guys, in the chat, we're getting some good questions, and I don't want to neglect. Sorry, we can't always answer them all, but Chelsea seems to be a common theme, and I guess because we're starting to get their assets because they are cheap Chelsea assets, and they have got great fixtures. And Blues FC, Chelsea, who's your favourite player? I'm going to give you my favourite player. I don't know if he's the best FPL option. My 2 favourite players are Jorginho and Mount, but I don't know if either are the best FPL option. Mount has been good recently. Seb, would it be fair to say Mount is the most in-form player in the Premier League right now? Or in-form English player in the Premier League?
Ooh, I don't know. Put me on the spot.
Toby?
No. Harry Kane, mate, has got, 35 goal contributions this year. He's going to win the Golden Boot. He's been the best player, let alone the best English player.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the last few months.
I mean, we've just seen Jesse Lingard score another goal.
Yeah, Lingard's probably up there.
It's one of those questions that really I'd need to have a look at the players in front of me and try and judge it as fairly as possible. He's certainly up there. In an FPL sense, the only thing with Mount, a bit like other Chelsea players, is even though he's not that expensive, if I want someone who's going to return, especially attacking points, I want to know when I can target, for example, a West Brom or a Sheffield United.
Mm-hmm.
There is every chance that is the match he's benched for or plays 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's another one where maybe we never get a confirmed team sheet from Thomas Tuchel because he doesn't care about FPL, right? If he rotates his team and wins the league and wins the Champions League, good times.
Yep.
But next season, I guess we're kind of hoping for a slightly more settled 11. We know if Werner's in there. We know if Havertz is in there.
More space
we
between
know that
fixtures as well. Like
exactly.
The fixture congestion is just ridiculous for a team like Chelsea, who are still in the FA Cup, who are still in the Champions League. Mount will be in every 11 possible, but he cannot play 3 times a week every week. He is on set pieces. He's a bonus points magnet. Like yesterday, the likes of Havertz got goals and assists. Mount got 1 assist in a 4 goal. Did they score 4 yesterday? Can't even remember. And he still got 2 bonus, I think it was, or maybe he moved down to 1. But he's a bonus points magnet. But he's not a goal scorer necessarily. So
the only trouble with him as well is it's going to be really interesting how they price him next year, because I kind of feel like this year, like 7.2 is a strange price point. Not that he's not worth that, but he kind of sits in that strange bracket, doesn't he? Where he's not like a 5 million, he's not like a Neto or even a Lingard, but he's also not a kind of premium Heung-min Son or Maddison even.
Yeah, so they've nailed it. That's what those 7-8 million price points are for. Those that aren't 6 or aren't 10.
But I think given that he's improved a lot, like the second half of this season, he's gonna start at a higher price than he did this season, but like easily, which means he's gonna probably be moved into that bracket of like 8 million, 8.5. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly I don't think he looks as good a value for a player like him, who I think will he'll tick over points across the whole season, and he'd be a useful player to have. I don't think he's ever going to, get you sort of hat tricks and things like that and huge hauls, but he'll just tick along nicely, picking up 5, 6, 7 points here and there. But yeah, I don't know if 8 million, 8.5 million is too much for that type of player. I don't know.
It really reminds me of the old David Silva, Juan Mata when they were in their prime. Yeah. It was kind of assists were their main thing. They tick over nicely and slowly, and they were priced slightly higher than maybe you'd want if you're looking at that player just in the scope of the whole game. But when you actually looked at what they were worth, how regularly they would return, maybe you can't captain them.
Their explosiveness.
I used to really like that player, like a David Silva. As long as I've got other big players in the team, I used to really like that player in my team because they just tick over points and no one kind of ever noticed. James Maddison, is it last season? I think he got 7 goals, 7 assists. I had him for a large part of that season and I wanted a bit more from him. If you looked at the positions he took up, he probably should have scored more. But he just used to tick over points without anyone ever really picking him up too much.
Yeah, and that's a really good comparison. Just looking at the game now, because I know there's been a little bit of action. Tobes, I don't know if you want to... Oh, okay, no, it's fine.
Leicester are kind of on the attack here, but Fabianski's going to mop it up, I think. Yeah, ball just with Fabianski's feet at the moment. So not looking overly threatening anywhere at the moment.
We'll talk. We'll try and get your questions when we can. Remember, guys, the halftime chat is going to be chip strategy. Tobes, I'll come to you as West Ham on the attack.
Okay, yeah, I think Diop's fired it forward. I think it's Bowen that's clean through. Bowen squares it to Lingard. Lingard's going to tap it in 2-0. Lingard again. Can you believe it?
I cannot deal.
Is there a chance?
Good.
Is there a chance there's an offside here? Bowen looked miles offside. We've not seen a flag.
I thought he looked comfortably on.
Okay, I'm just about to see it now. He might even be in his own half.
Oh, he's on, but just.
Kasper Schmeichel doesn't do great there. I mean, it's hard for him. He's got to come out and try and do something, but he comes and then stops and just allows Bowen time to play that pass. He either needs to stay or come and completely clear Bowen out.
With Evans and Fofana and Ricard and Amati all running back, I don't think he needs to come at all, Seb.
Oh, hang on. We're seeing the VAR. I think he's on, isn't he?
It's clearly on.
Although you say that, he's leaning. Are we going to see another armpit versus back? Yeah, it's another armpit job here. This might be ruled out.
Nah, it's fine.
I think they're ruling this out. I think he's offside.
It's close, but he's on.
Yeah, but we've said that like twice this weekend, haven't we?
Just to say as well on Lingard, providing you're looking at
Onside
a good
given.
XG model, if you're looking at a good XG model, that should be a pretty high score. So as long as it takes defensive position, goalkeeper position into account and all that, that's going to be very high.
It's 0.9, isn't it?
They give. I think
it'll at least be up with a penalty. Yeah.
I think check complete goal, right? Yeah.
Oh dear, the bubbles are out at London Stadium.
This is a big result. This is, I mean, Christ, Leicester need to come out here and offer something, don't they, from like Premier League terms.
Lingard. I tell you what, for all those on a wild card that didn't pick Lingard, Toby Margetts, hang your head in shame.
It's really difficult to sit here and go, oh, I don't regret doing it, but I genuinely don't.
He wasn't in any of the drafts I saw from you, was he?
I literally never, ever considered him. I didn't. And maybe that's a mistake, but
how come?
I just didn't think he's going to continue scoring goals because he was so dramatically overperforming. And he just felt to me like somebody that I'd want to transfer out. His fixtures aren't actually great either, like looking at them.
He's got Newcastle next week.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm talking about between now and game week 38, his fixtures aren't that great. They get better towards right at the end of the season. After Newcastle, I think they're quite tricky. I don't have them to hand.
I guess like super easy to say in hindsight, right? And I was definitely someone to be pointing out the anomalous nature of his returns, which I still think is the case. But if he was returning, even if he returned what his expected numbers said he should have returned in what were tougher fixtures, his fixtures did get easier, and I guess it would be fair to say that if he keeps up those underlying stats, he would continue to return points. Just whether he would continue to return at the same ridiculous level.
Oh, Mike Dean's got his book out again. Fofana's got yellowed for his first foul of the game.
Leicester are a little bit rattled here, I think, aren't they?
I tell you what, top four is interesting if Leicester lose today, because I mean, this is at least a good result for Chelsea. So I'll kind of, I guess a draw is quite a good result for Chelsea actually. But
yeah, you'd rather have a draw, I think.
I don't see West Ham as a threat. They're going to bottle it at some point, aren't they?
There's only 7 games to go. To be fair, actually, having said that they haven't got great fixtures, they actually have got pretty good fixtures.
Yeah, they've got the best fixtures in the league, pretty much. They're on all the fixture tickers. They're right at the top.
Yeah, Liverpool, Arsenal are top of them, maybe.
Yeah, Arsenal and Liverpool are definitely up there. But West Ham are top 4-5.
Yeah, in the next 4, though, they play Chelsea and Everton. They're not easy games. Burnley, Newcastle, you would expect them to do.
They score in all of them, though, don't they?
I would argue that Everton's isn't as hard as it was, and if they're currently beating Leicester, I mean, Leicester haven't been poor here by any means, but if they're currently beating Leicester 2-0, I don't think Everton is harder than that.
Yeah. Tobes, you're looking at the fixture ticker a couple of days too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got to get rid of Neto, so Neto to Lingard is probably the easiest transfer I'll make all year.
Yeah. What's Lingard's price now? Is Seb drinking a protein shake? Come on, Seb. Are you?
6.4.
6.4.
6.4. So he's 0.7 more expensive than Neto.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got plenty in the bank though. So
I might go Bowen.
If you're going to go West Ham, though, can you not go Lingard if you're going to go Bowen?
At my rank, I'm going Bowen.
Yeah, I suppose. I just feel again though, like part of me is like it's the stubbornness creeping in, isn't it? Now I'm like, you're almost more fervent in your kind of will to not bring Lingard in because you're like, no, he will stop scoring.
Yeah. And inevitably, I'm so bad for that. I'm so bad for that. You either want to prove yourself right, or you go like, well, I've missed it now. It's already gone.
Yeah, I did that famously in like I did it in Salah's breakout season where he scored like 34 goals and literally didn't own him all season. Was like, he will stop scoring eventually, and he just never did.
I am proud to say I had Salah from the very first game week that season and owned him the entire season based on his Roma stats.
Yeah.
And Fiorentina stats. He was insane in Italy. I don't know how Roma only got 30 mil for him.
But interestingly, his Roma stats were all assist-led, weren't they, rather than goal scoring?
Yeah, he weren't that greedy.
Switched to Liverpool.
Yeah, he just laid it on a plate for Dzeko every time.
Yeah.
So half-time, we got 2-0. 2-0 West Ham, and Leicester really haven't had a sniff. There's a lot of Iheanacho, and there's a lot of Vardy captainers out there as well.
This isn't the one you had Vardy or Iheanacho for. If you captained him, okay, fair enough. But this isn't why you bought Iheanacho, I don't think, so I wouldn't stress about that too much.
Fair. Guys, chip strategy. Let's go first, and this will be a quicker chat. Triple captain, because I think it's pretty clear. If you've still got your triple captain chip, you're either using it on Kane next week or you're saving it for someone random on 35 that we just cannot, I say random, one of the big guns in 35, but we cannot predict exactly who's going to be playing in 35 or 36 if there's doubles there. Does that make next week Kane, nail Tobes, no European football, 180 minutes and 2 nice fixtures?
Yeah, exactly that. I think I feel like it's a bit of a gamble to hope that there are going to be like a better option, like there could be, but there quite easily could not be. Kane's in great form at the moment. He's playing 2 teams that aren't in particularly great form. I think it's really difficult to look past him. Like you say as well, him having a week's rest, we know that he's going to play 180 minutes. Even like you could possibly make a small case for captaining someone like Son, but Son, he's not a rotation risk, obviously, but he is more likely to be hooked and play fewer minutes than Kane. Maybe if you're looking for a little differential in your league and you know the guy above you's got Kane as captain, you might fancy Son to kind of haul you up a little bit. But I think
you say Son isn't a rotation risk. Has he not started the last 2? Is it?
45 last week, came on at half-time, but it was first game off the back of an injury.
Yeah, so that was and Mourinho came out and said, he wasn't quite ready to be able to start the game.
Okay.
He is Mourinho's boy, and he Tobes. He loves Son.
Yeah, he's always the one he kind of calls for when we're like, if he doesn't start him, it's like, right, get Son on at half-time. I would expect Son to play 90 minutes in both games.
Sweet, cheers.
Yeah.
Do we think Bale's definitely dead as an option?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say dead. I'd say
as a starter, though, Tobes. He's dead as a starter. Luca, he's in love with Lucas at the moment, and then Lo Celso's getting minutes too. He can't. Bale's not getting a look in.
He's certainly not going to play 90 minutes twice. Bale, it's unlikely he'll even play 90 minutes once. I would be steering well clear of that. If you want a third Spurs option alongside Kane and Son, I'd be looking at Reguilon.
Because even when he starts, Tobes, he gets 60, doesn't he, Bale?
Yeah, exactly. Fitness needs to be managed. I just, unless you've got, I don't know, if like the person above you's got Kane and Son and you need to do something, bring in Bale, captain him, why not? If you want to play it safe and you're still looking to kind of protect overall rank, then I wouldn't be touching Bale.
Yeah, if you do own Bale currently and you don't have Son, don't convince yourself that's a sideways move. Do it. Just do it. Take a 4-point hit for it, even if you need to. Okay, so that's kind of our take. And Seb, where are you with triple captain? Would you be doing the same as Hope? So I would be absolutely committing to Kane because of the unknown later in the season.
Yeah, I don't have the chip, so obviously I've not given it as much thought. So take that into consideration. But yeah, that sounds sensible. There could be a better opportunity to come, but we don't know that. So go with the sure thing. I did the same very early in the season with De Bruyne. Didn't quite pay off. I think he got 1 assist. I think it was slightly unfortunate. But I did it at the time because I knew what was coming. I thought it was one of the best selections we'd have. He was a good player to put it on. Similar sort of scenario now, right? He's going to play 2. He's going to play all of them, injury aside. It looks like he'll probably get some goals or at least some returns in that. You could probably find someone like Salah with a better one to come, but you don't know. So why take that risk?
Yeah. And free hit, Seb. We know who's not playing in 33. We know there's no Spurs and no City and no Fulham and one other team.
Southampton.
Is it Southampton? But what about free hitting in 33 or free hitting when we could get a big double? What's your take there?
So I originally was saving it for 33 because I at the time had 3 Spurs, 3 City. I've now got 3 City. Oh, what have you seen?
It's not, but it's not a shank, Tobes. It's not.
It is a shank. It is a shank. It's a volley. It's not a half volley. He definitely, in like cricket where it's like a bump ball and it like gets banged into the ground. It's just like that, I think. And yeah, I'm not having that he meant to do that. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Oh, he definitely didn't mean to do that, but he meant to put a shot on target.
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally.
He achieved it. It's kind of fair enough. It's one of those, he
Or,
missed it
tell you
a million
what,
times.
sorry, Seb. How offside does Bowen look in that still?
It's a real trailing leg from Evans, but it is a trailing leg, and therefore it's on.
Yeah, but the lean on Bowen is massive. Like at this angle that we're seeing now, it doesn't look that bad. That first angle, he looked offside, I think.
I'd personally like it to be based on feet. I know we'd still have the problem of drawing a line that's a millimeter. We could never change that. That's what happens on thresholds. But I'd quite like to see it be feet. And with feet, that's very onside.
I've been saying that all year, Seb. I'm so big on the just do feet. Like, why are we using arms to determine offside? It's ridiculous. How does that sound? We are using arms to determine offside in a game where you score with your feet in your head.
I would genuinely, I totally agree with you two. I'd be keen to hear someone's argument as to why putting it on feet is a bad idea, because I think it's a good idea. But I'm sure there are people out there that are like, nah, that won't work because of. And the only thing I can think of is that you'll still have very, very tight decisions where we're, on the feet. But I still think that that sits better with people when you're worrying about if a toe is offside rather than a shoulder or an armpit.
Yeah, it will be. The only reason it's not on feet is because the rule was furthest body point or what that you can score with, but it will be moved to feet. I just think it might be 3 or 5 years' time. Just need to get Wenger to put his feet. This is football, right? It takes forever to change shit, and it will go to feet because that makes sense. But
Wenger's been talking about automating offsides, hasn't he, now as well? Like basically doing away with assistant referees. And automating it.
They're trialing it at the moment, and he said they think they're going to be able to use it for the World Cup in Doha. So in Qatar, offsides will be buzzed through to the assistant ref, which I quite like. It'll be 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, the only trouble is it puts a load of assistants. Oh no, you'd still need assistants, wouldn't you, for like throw-ins and various other things. But yeah, it's like in cricket, they stopped for the whole inception of the game. Umpires had to call no balls, the front foot, for when a bowler's running in. And I don't know why it took so long. About 3 years ago, they were like, no, just every single bowl is looked at by the fourth umpire, and if at any point he steps over, it's automatically called a no ball. It's so much easier.
Yeah, Seb, what's your take on free hit then? What are you thinking?
So 33 was the original plan. Triple Spurs, triple City, so need to sort that out. Only have double Spurs now. But I think I maybe can deal with that with transfers and a couple of benchings, because 35 potentially. I know we don't know the teams. I'm not even sure it's particularly confirmed. It's just a best guess at the moment, although it looks likely. So that's probably where I'd go for, because it has both the biggest upside and I guess the potential to avoid the biggest downside for my team. And I need some upside right now. I need to go and get 100 points in 1 week more than the person top of my mini league.
Yeah, I'm all for the upside, and therefore using a free hit in a double just makes sense. Also, the beauty of that is everyone else, Seb, will be picking players that they know will be playing in the double. And if they're doing that, they might not have the best. Let's say the double's in 36 or 35. They might not have the best teams there. They might be ignoring fixtures or players with great fixtures in 37 and 38 because they're so concentrated on the double. We can forget that, and we can still look at the fixtures in 36, 7 and 8, which might mean we can get some good differentials that no one else will have because they played once in the double.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if doubles in 35 would mean blank in 36 for those teams. So I guess I build my team, for the whole 8 or so weeks that are left. But I don't have to worry maybe about burning some transfers, trying to get 11 out in each week. Yeah. I just go for it in the double and then fix whatever I have in 36, which hopefully would, if I make sure I have a 10 or 11 in that week.
One thing we always get ahead of free hits is people asking the question. So I'm going to give you the answer is, can you carry transfers over? No. So if you've got 2 transfers banked at any point between now and when you free hit, forget about banking those transfers. It won't carry over. So use your transfer allocation wisely between now and whenever you free hit. Because some managers like to always play with 1 in the bank. I love doing that if I can. But remember, it won't carry over after your free hit.
Sorry, Jan. Someone's tagged me in Twitter something that you're like. So Jesse Lingard, more goals and assists than Mount in 21 games fewer.
I saw that. Thanks, Louis, for that. You're meant to be a Chelsea fan, mate. You've said it 3 times on the chat. We know they're very different roles in the team. And you could argue they play similar positions. You can't compare an apple and an orange, all right?
I think Louis got his nibble there.
It's like ridiculous. Oh, let's compare Mount and Foden. One of them plays in a front three and one of them's often in a midfield. Or, it's Grealish's, it's Mount's fault that Grealish doesn't start. What is this? Why when everyone does well, do we have to compare them to Mason Mount? Like, it's how ridiculous. We're talking about a generational talent here. We're talking about one of the most informed players in the country, a 22-year-old that gets man of the match every time he plays the game.
Yeah. But enough about Lingard. What about that?
This is like that's like the Jeff Stelling rant. You know when Jeff Stelling went on that big rant about why Middlesbrough is a nice place? Yeah, I was like that.
That was funny, that Stelling rant. Do people still watch Soccer Saturday? Like, genuinely, do you guys? I've not watched Soccer Saturday for a couple of years, but it's very different now, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I used to watch it. Like I kind of feel like my dad still watches it. I think it's aimed more. I tend to think maybe like a slightly older generation would be more into Soccer Saturday than the BT Score Show. I think maybe.
Let's compare.
I quite like the BT one, and obviously when I'm not here with you guys, I'm watching you guys.
I'm with you all day long for BT. If I watch one, it's BT. It's like, one, because Jules is brilliant, but also you get the assists. They tell you the assists. You get sofa vibes. You get better pundits. Like you get Sutton and Savage having a go at each other. Generational talent? Question mark.
They just got Soccer Saturday. Just got a little bit stale, I think, and they didn't they binned half the panel, didn't they? Which they probably left like 2 or 3 years too late to do that. Bring in some new, like, younger blood, a bit more diversity in there, which they didn't have. Like Jeff Stelling kind of holds that together as well, right? He is a phenomenal broadcaster. Without him, I think, you wouldn't see a lot of people watching it.
The best one by a mile is the European Nights on BT. Of course, it helps that they can show clips. That's a massive advantage. We can see in the studio everything going on, and then we can cut to games.
Journalists over footballers all day long, please, for my pundits. Yeah. I've told you that before.
I think they fill different roles, right? I'd want a studio that had a bit of both, because the journalists are maybe, it's their job to write about it and analyse the game, right? But a footballer can provide an insight into maybe what's happening in the dressing room or their experiences in football. The more recently they've retired, the better, probably. A bit of both, maybe Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher offer that. Ideally, I'd have both. I'd have a brilliant presenter who can string it all together. I'd have a journalist who can talk to me about the bits of the game I enjoy, the analysing it and whatnot. And then I'd have an ex-pro footballer who can tell me what it's like to be a footballer, because that's an interesting insight. I have no idea what a dressing room is like. I want to know. Yeah,
they don't. It's a shame they don't always talk about that, though. They just talk about the play, what they've seen on the pitch. And if I want someone to tell me what I've seen on the pitch, give me a journo.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the issue. They employ the ex-pro to do the journalist's job.
Yeah.
So it's not the ex-pro's fault. They've possibly been given the wrong role in the studio.
Yeah, wrong brief. But those shows are only for the Champions League group stages, which are brilliant. But for those that don't know it, it's James Richardson presenting, who we know as an FPL interest. But then you'll get... there used to be Gab Marcotti, who's now doing way more with ESPN, but Julian Laurent's doing French games, Rafa Hogestein doing German stuff, and James Horncastle doing Italian stuff. Like, those three journos, who's your favourite, Seb? Who'd you go... you love that show, so I'm guessing you like them all, but Gab Marcotti was always mine, but he's off that show for the last year, but Horncastle does a good job.
I really, really like Honigstein, just for the way he talks. Enjoy the Bundesliga, so that helps.
Yeah.
But really like the way he talks, the way he sees the game, the way he analyses it. Julian Lorenz is always fun just for his extremely passionate defence of anything Paris.
And he used to play, by the way, so you do get the ex-professional footballer. He used to play like tier 2 or 3 in Spain.
I didn't know that. There we go. So
check out his podcast, Seb. ESPN, the Gab and Jules show every Monday and Thursday. It's the only hour I have to listen to every single week, but... Nice. Always a good take.
I like speaking of podcasts, the Spanish football podcast.
Okay. I've never heard it. One? No.
Oh, that's a really, really good one. With, I've forgotten. Someone in the chat help me out. I've forgotten the name of the guy who hosts it. It's
not like part of the Totally shows, like the Totally.
No. I believe it's separate. That's so bad. I've forgotten the name. Someone in the chat hopefully will shout it out or I'll look it up. But it's a really, really good look at Spanish football. And kind of, for want of a better phrase, truthful as well. It doesn't seem to hold too much bias other than enjoying Spanish football.
I reckon Ricardo's going to be off here. Thomas is coming on for Leicester, so it's either Castagna or Ricardo off, unless he's changing the system. Thomas is a fullback or wingback.
That's a -1 for... I think it was Ricardo's number, wasn't it? He held up.
Oh, Amati off. Changing system. Right centre-back Amati off, which means it's going to be a 4-4-2, which actually means Ricardo playing in midfield. Get on. It'll be Thomas at right back, Castagna still at left back, 2 centre-backs, And then Ricardo, we're going to be seeing as a front three player now. This is going to be an exciting second half. Changing system for Leicester.
Sidlow, Phil Kitramidis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Sidlow. He comes on and does the... someone in the chat said Sidlow. Yeah, good. Good.
Thank you.
As you said it, good spot, Saeed.
Great stat from to back up what Seb was saying earlier around Lingard and his XG. So in the 3 seasons prior to this one, he scored 13 goals with an XG of 14.4, so slightly underperformed. This season, he's got 8 goals with an XG of 3.7. So it's remarkable. It's amazing.
I guess to play devil's advocate on that, because genuinely, I don't have a preference here. I just want us to, try and analyze it as objectively as possible. Maybe you could say when he was playing for Man United, a lot of those chances would have been restricted to further out, maybe the role he was playing. He would have possibly had fewer, probably fewer of those tap-ins like he just had there in the first half. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
So naturally, obviously, finishing quality comes into it as well. But naturally, if a lot of your chances are smaller chances, there's going to be a lot more variance on your return there. Whereas, if you're getting the same XG, but maybe through big chances, there's a good chance you took more of those away.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think also
another yellow card in Didi's first foul in the book. Sorry, Tobes, carry on.
Or to be fair, that was a yellow card. That was pretty bad. There are a few people on Twitter talking about actually how the kind of Lingard conversations going on are reminiscent of the Greenwood chat that was happening a lot last year, and everyone was going like Greenwood's a great pick because he's overperforming his XG, but the kid's just a brilliant finisher. And it was kind of like there is some truth to that. But this season, you look how many more minutes Greenwood has played than Lingard, and he scored 2 goals.
I mean, both things can be true, right? He can be a great finisher and he can be overperforming.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing. That's the thing with FPL. Like we see someone overperforming for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and we go, well, it's got to end at some point. You're probably right, but maybe that's a season away. And that's when you see people maybe going with the form arguments versus fixtures and whatnot. You jump on someone who's hot. We don't know when they're going to stop being hot, but there's every chance it's no time soon. Like, I'm confident that Lingard will, I say regress. Obviously, earlier I made the argument for how past performance doesn't indicate future returns. But if Lingard keeps putting in the exact same numbers and the exact same output, I am confident they will slowly merge and meet each other. But that could take 100 more matches.
Souček through to Bowen. Goal! Bowen! Oh, wow. 3-0. So it's Souček with a nice little ball assist for Souček. Loads of owners out there.
Very well taken goal.
Oh, it is.
Lingard not involved is the key thing here, right?
Hallelujah.
Lingard laid it across to Souček, to be fair.
I mean, not involved from an FPL point of view, I mean.
On that goal, worth noting, I just saw it because
Leicester give the ball away. Go on, Seb.
It's I was just going to point that out. Leicester giving the ball away. Did you see how many? It was almost Lingard furthest forward, Bowen, Souček, and I'm guessing Pablo Fornals further right.
It's Fornals, yeah.
All right up on the Leicester defence. They were pretty casual with it. They weren't pressing too hard, but if you see on the right-hand side on the replay here, as soon as there's a bit of pressure on the ball and someone gives it away, they're there to pounce, and they pretty much outnumber or match the Leicester defence. That is a very, very well-set pressing trap.
Yeah. It's actually a very poor bit of play from Iheanacho, isn't it? Yeah, it's Iheanacho that gives the ball away. It just doesn't stick.
Yeah, it's not great hold up. It is fizzed in, but yeah, you expect to control it. By the way, update on formation. 27's Castagna says Castagna's right back, Thomas left back, and yeah, Thomas is more left than right. We have seen him play both, so it is a back 4. Ricardo playing right mid, and I think left mid will be Pratt. There will be a middle 2 of Ndidi and Tielemans, and left mid Pratt. Don't be surprised to see Albrighton coming on very soon, possibly for Ricardo, but possibly for Dennis Pratt, who hasn't started for a while. Interesting, 3-0. I can't remember Schmeichel making a save. I think West Ham have had 3 shots and 3 goals. Clinical, Seb.
Yeah, although a couple of them probably, one of them definitely a tap in, and that last one, not too far off, quite an easy chance. So I guess that's one of those ones, right? If you just look at shots and goals, you'd go, oh, they've been lucky. But I guess we need some context there with they've been good chances they've created, apart from the Lingard one, which is, relatively fortunate, but he put it away.
No, Jan, this isn't going to be very nice for you. So your powerhouse back 4, right? Alonso, Pereira, Digne, and Trent, albeit Digne hasn't played. You've got 10 points out of the 3 of them so far, and Trent got 11 of those.
Yeah, 11 out of 3. Yeah.
That obviously makes no sense.
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's because you got...
Oh, Cresswell down holding his hammy on 49 minutes. Come on, boy.
Or did you see what he just mouthed as well? He was like, oh, for sake, I'm done.
He is looking at the bench, and Moyes is talking to Dawson at the moment. But Seb, what timestamp you on? I feel like you've caught up with us. I'm 49, 54, 55, 56.
20 seconds behind you, 40, 41, 42. I think I was seeing it live when you were seeing replays on the last goal.
Louis Ashton, I'm just looking at that at the moment. I've got my laptop getting the FPL team up ready because you've said transfer Gundo out for Bowen. That's what I'm looking at because I can't transfer Lingard in for Bowen. I knew I couldn't afford Lingard because he's more than Gundo. I can sell Gundo at 5.7 or 8. And I was just going to look how much Bowen is for that exact reason.
There is no chance Cresswell is staying on here.
Do you not think, Tobes? Is it a definite nail he's going off, do you reckon?
It's like you can see the way that he landed. He like clutches his hammy. There's no chance he's carrying on.
Is that how do West Ham reshape with that in mind? Because he's been pretty important in terms of filling that left centre back role or
back
left
four.
back
Masuaku, I guess, slots in at left back, or possibly I don't know. They have got a lot of centre back. They've got I'm guessing Diop's on the bench.
The thing I wouldn't want them to sacrifice is that effectively that front four that are pressing and combining well. That's what's really worked for them this game. So whatever they can do to keep that going. Cresswell looks like he's staying on at the moment.
He's having a chat with Moyes at the moment, isn't he?
Just want to give a very quick update on my team. Sorry, I don't want to turn this into the Gianni show. Louis, you know my team so well. I've got 0.1 in the bank. Gundo I can sell for 5.8. Bowen I can buy at 5.9. Literally, I've got the exact funds to make that move. So thank you for highlighting that.
I think chat have said Cresswell is off. So no, my bad. He's definitely off.
Yeah.
Who's come on, Seb? Do we know?
I don't know, I'm afraid.
Maybe they haven't made the sub yet. Because as I'm watching it... Oh, Cresswell's gone down as I'm watching it. So he tried running it off and he's gone straight down. You're right, Tobes. Probably should have just walked off. Oh, Valbuena's coming on. So they're keeping the system the same.
You got to say, that's really harsh on Cresswell owners as well. Because he's got a clean sheet, not in the bag, but he's obviously not conceded yet. And you're going to get a big 1 point out of him.
Yeah. So I've just caught up now. Chat clearly a bit ahead. Cresswell did stay on, but probably 20 seconds, he goes down off the ball. He's done. Yeah. He tried, he's done. So, I know the sub's already happened, but he's definitely done. Possibly, I know he landed, but he was holding back of his knee, hamstring?
Yeah, it looks like hammy, right hamstring.
Depending on severity, that could be one that keeps him out for a little bit.
It could be. Yep. It'll definitely be flagged. Have a look at the replay or the action now, Seb. No, you're 20 seconds behind. Does Lingard just put a brace in his mouth?
I saw him put something in his mouth. I assumed it was just like a sugar pill or something.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I assumed it was like energy or something like that.
Robbie's just said in the chat, Lingard with some new chewing gum in. So you also noticed it, Robbie, which is good to know.
Magic chewing gum.
Yeah.
It's clearly working.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. You see it quite a lot. Gareth Bale came on the other day, which was just before a free kick, and he took the free kick. So his first touch was a free kick from 35 yards. And as he's running on, he's chewing gum. And you're like, I can't imagine playing football whilst chewing so much gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I guess it's... I mean, it can help you concentrate, can't it? It can help you focus. I guess it's something... Maybe it's just habit. Like, if you're chewing gum when you play...
Oh, West Ham are in here. It's Lingard out wide. Oh, I know. Okay. The ball comes in back stick. Oh, Diop. Is that onside? That's a goal.
That a Lingard assist? That sounds like a Lingard assist.
That will definitely Lingard with a back stick cross.
Oh, good finish. Is he offside?
The flag stayed down. I reckon that might be off.
He's offside. He's miles off. Yeah, he's offside.
Oof. Oh, that would have been a Lingard assist. Diop, Ricardo just forgets about him on the back post. Forgets about the 6'4" centre back behind him.
There's some very poor Leicester defending, both from the quick free kick, they're asleep, and then it's offside, but I'm not sure they played for that strictly. That line is not straight. They've got fortunate there.
Yeah, how's the liner not given that? He's miles off. Yeah. I'd say he's miles off. He's 10 inches off.
Yeah, I mean, Suchek's off as well.
Take it back. Those Leicester back three did step up, actually. So asleep at first, but then they did step up to play him offside. So good defending eventually.
It's like the Arrigo Sacchi system where you just rush the ball.
You've seen the replays of those nowadays. They're so absolutely nuts. They just sprint up the pitch.
Like in the opponent's half almost, like right on the halfway line. How bold. You've got to be, you've all got to be sort of attached to the same string, haven't you?
Ridiculously disciplined defence.
Yeah.
You've got to say, haven't you? West Ham have been brilliant in this game, but Leicester have been crap, haven't they?
Look at the West Ham press now, Tobes. Look at the four of them, just waiting.
Yeah, it's a little trap, isn't it? Yeah.
Such good trap.
It's exactly the same as that first goal. And then So there's no options there. Is it Johnny Evans just on the bare ball, having to go back to the goalkeeper? As soon as it comes out, Iheanacho had to come deep last time to retrieve it, gave it away, and they sprung on it. You could quite easily see the same thing happen again here.
I know what match of the day 2 are picking out tonight. Those clips.
As we speak, they're drawing up the graphics, aren't they? Being little arrows.
I've not watched
worked
match... Go on,
what they've had to do is, go long into Iheanacho and Vardy there, who give it away between the two of them. West Ham poach it off them and return possession to themselves going forward again. They're setting up really nicely. I think what Leicester maybe are missing there is Tielemans, because he's maybe further forward without Maddison. Are they missing someone who's going to come drop in and actually relieve that pressure? You see Calvin Phillips does it for Leeds. You see Rodri, Fernandinho do it for Man City.
Jorginho.
If you're going to play it, yeah. But if you're going to play it around a back like that, you need someone to be able to come in.
And
so
indeed,
you have that option on the turn.
Indeed, he isn't that player.
Yes, indeed.
He's just not, is he?
Hey.
Yeah.
We should have a bit of Tottenham team news in 10 minutes.
Oh, keep us up to date with that. Oh, Leballing comes in from, I think it might be Thomas getting forward. Oh no, it's Dennis Pratt. I think it's whoever's on the left mid.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's done well not to give away a penalty there. I think was that Diop flying in.
Tielemans in the area. Oh, that could have been a pen as well. Souček, but Mike Dean says no. Did you get a look at that, Tobes?
Oh yeah, it looked a bit clumsy, but I think it was all right. Tielemans is kind of doing that motion to the ref where he's like, come on. Which often, I always think now with VAR in the game, you kind of know about a decision based on a player's reaction. If a player jumps up really where's my penalty? You kind of think there's got to be a pretty good case here because he's going to look like an idiot if it's not one and he's claiming it is.
Knowing it's going to be checked, yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at the stats here for the match so far, would you say that West Ham have been really good or Leicester have been really poor?
I feel like Leicester have been really poor.
Yeah, West Ham have been good, but I would veer more on. I think Leicester have just been off colour and rubbish.
I'm not sure that front two's working. I mean, I know it's worked in recent weeks, but it's been Iheanacho goals out of nowhere. It definitely doesn't complement Vardy. You were right. Tobes called that at the start of the show, and it was based off no data necessarily. Just from watching the games, Vardy's been so quiet in the last month.
Yeah,
and oh, no, please go, Tobes.
No, just one observation. I think it limits his ability to get in behind defences, right? Which is what Vardy's all about. Yeah, there just aren't. There isn't the space for him to run into. And yeah, where we've seen Vardy excel over the last 2-3 seasons, it's always been that ball over the top, Leicester on the break, Vardy running in the channels and getting in behind. And yeah, that takes out a huge chunk of his game, I think.
I mean, better to continue from that. A bit of speculation from my part, but I wonder if, with a front two, Vardy, like you say, isn't able to run the channels as much because there's someone else occupying that space. But also the centre-backs for West Ham, there's three of them as well, so they can outnumber it, are able actually just to mark their men and stay on them. Whereas when it's just Vardy, and then maybe say a Maddison or Barnes running from deep, the centre-backs are almost too occupied with Vardy and all will focus on that. He can drop off or he can run beyond and you've got other players occupying space.
Leicester on the attack there. Someone just went down.
I think it was Vardy. I think it looked like Vardy to me.
But it was almost off the ball, right? But he's not moaning about a pen, but it looked like he might have got a trip or a whack in the box. I don't think anything's doing there.
No, nothing comes of it, and Vardy's back up and running. But yeah, it's just not falling for them. With Vardy being marked, Seb, with the three centre-backs and two forwards, when Vardy plays as a lone striker, even against a back four, he's used to having two centre-backs on him, versus often with Iheanacho, two forwards, two centre-backs. In a back four, just seeing the Vardy replay, and it is Dawson that sort of collides with him, maybe an elbow, but I mean VAR look at everything pretty much, and that's not been given. Oh, hello, all Brighton's on 58 minutes. Who's going to not make it to 60? Oh, yes, one extra point. Dennis Pratt. Dennis Pratt comes off as suggested. But yeah, Vardy is used to having two centre-backs mark him, right? He's always played that role. He doesn't mind it because he just outpaces them. It's not like Vardy's a link striker where he's going to be mobbed if he's just got two blokes on him. So yeah, it feels like he's very happy being outnumbered up there because of his pace. But I don't know, as the years go on, that his pace will expire, right?
And I mean, it's not just about Vardy literally matching up to defenders and either outnumbering them or not. It's about where he can drag them, the space he can occupy.
Yeah.
I feel like, we're seeing with West Ham maybe the opposite being successful. they have runners coming through. They have players that can occupy space as well as men. Whereas if Iheanacho and Vardy are relatively static up front or trying to dovetail off each other, it's quite easy for the West Ham defence to follow that, because who else is coming in to fill that space? There's no Barnes, there's no Maddison. I don't think Dennis Pratt has been all that today. And I mean, looking at the stats, ridiculously, Leicester have had more possession, more shots, fewer on target. But we've seen when West Ham have had those chances, they've been really good chances. They've capitalised on Leicester just not really setting up that well, I think.
Yeah, it's what Moisey does, though, isn't it, Seb? We saw similar at Everton. His teams often didn't have the high number of possession or shots, but it was winning football at Everton, and it looks like a very similar sort of West Ham team. Souček is Fellaini 2.0. I thought that was going to go in there. Leicester on the attack. Fabianski flaps at it, Tobes.
Oh, yeah. He picks it up, doesn't he? And then just drops it in front of Albrighton and then gets a whack in the hand for it, I think. Yeah, it wasn't the most confident bit of goalkeeping I've seen. And West Ham have got previous, haven't they, of going 3 up and then not winning a game. A goal now, like we're talking about this being pretty one-sided, but a Leicester goal now would put the cat amongst the pigeons for sure.
Yeah. Seb, going back to Moisey, just so you can have the final say, as Ndidi should really hit the target from there, but skies it. Tobes, we'll come to you in 3 minutes for Spurs team news. I'll have United team news ASAP. To you, Seb.
I was just to take on from what you were saying. I wonder if it's kind of, I'm not thinking about this too deeply, but when he was obviously at Man United and possibly didn't quite perform to the level they wanted, I wonder if his style of management, and this is just speculation, is maybe more suited to a team such as West Ham, where sure, they can dominate a match, but it's very system-based with some good individuals in there. And actually, they're quite happy having a team having to come on and force things on them and then be able to respond to that. Whereas, say, at Man United, where the impetus on him, especially that time, just after Ferguson, was to go out and dominate a match. Yeah. I don't know. He may well be capable of it, but all of his experience as a manager hasn't been dominating a match and enforcing his style of play. It's been responding to someone else's style of play and finding the way to beat that.
Yeah. Tom Hill, Cresswell is Baines 2.0 as well. I'll give you that, Tom. That's not a bad comparison, that. Those deep crosses from Baines were legendary. Who's the Tim Cahill then? Fornals? This is going to get very tired, very tiresome. I'm ready and waiting for team news. We are a couple of minutes away. But yeah, there's a lot of Luke Shaw owners. There's a lot of Bruno captainers out there. I think Kane's effective ownership, Tobes, is over 100%, not just in the top 10k, but outside of it too. I think it's 104% at my rank.
Yeah, I think you're right. I checked yesterday and remember seeing Kane above 100 alongside, I think Salah was just over 100 as well. It's just form, isn't it? I think people are going with form.
Salah or Bruno? Did you say Salah was over 100? You meant Bruno?
No, I think Salah was as well.
No.
Yeah, Salah in the top 10k is 106% effective ownership. Round about my rank, he was 83%, which shows he's very, very highly favoured in the top 10k because I'm not a million miles off it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruno was 89%. Kane was around about 112% effective ownership. So yeah, not good for anyone if he bangs.
Yeah,
unless you put him as captain.
Good to have G Wiz with us again. Thank you, G Wiz, for deleting those messages as one of the admins on this to make sure that we don't get any false goals. For all your fastest goals, we will be keeping you up to date. Just slightly behind, but that'll be quick. And we've got you for team news as well, coming up in 2 minutes. We're expecting nothing really big from Mourinho, are we, Toes? We're expecting Son and Kane. Does Vinicius start for you? That's probably the only one we're not sure about. It's probably going to be Lucas Lo Celso.
Yeah, I don't think Vinicius will start this one. I think we'll see Kane and Son. I think we'll see Lucas. The back four is probably the most changeable thing. Like, apart from Reguilon will play. The other three, it could be Aurier, could be Tanganga at right back, could be Sanchez, Dyer, Toby, Rodon. Literally, I haven't got a clue who it could be at the back.
Lloris and Reguilon are the only two FPL assets we can look at for playing every game, pretty much.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be very surprised if Højbjerg and Ndombele weren't the two in midfield. Could be Lo Celso, could be Bale at a push, could be Bergvin. You just don't know at the moment. We've been so bad that everyone's up for the chop, really, apart from Kane and Son and Lloris.
Yeah. Ball comes in, but good hands from Schmeichel. He's finally got his hands on the ball without picking it out the back of the net. And Leicester just passing it out the back as they'll look to try and get something late in this game. But in terms of impact subs, Leicester don't really have it. You know, Barnes out injured, Maddison not in the matchday squad. Under the Turkish lad, who's brilliant, has been injured as well. This would be a game he would definitely be coming in on. So yeah, I think Albrighton's been on, but that's it. Has Albrighton come on yet? Did he come on?
Ooh.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, came on for Dennis Pratt.
We've got team news.
Oh, you go first, and then I'll go, and then we'll review them. So go quick time.
Yeah, okay. So Tottenham, Lloris in goal, Aurier right back, Rodon and Dyer, the two centre-backs. Dyer hasn't played for about 5 weeks. Reguilon left back, Højbjerg and Ndombele, the two. Then, Lo Celso, Lucas, Son and Kane.
Then, so I've got Hendo still number one at United. Centre-backs of Lindelof and Maguire. And then it looks like Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, as expected, both start. And then the midfield, he's gone McTominay and Fred and Pogba. So interesting to see where Pogba plays. Will it be a midfield three? And then Cavani starts up top. Rashford's also there. So it looks like it will be Rashford probably from the right. And I'm thinking Pogba from the left. And then Cavani down the middle. Mason Greenwood, who's been doing quite well in recent weeks, does miss out. And of course, Martial is injured. So it's going to be a front three. It's Pogba on the left, I think. Which means Rashford on the right. Rashford on the right is not the same player. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. And then obviously going cautious in the middle of the park with Fred and McTominay. Interesting game. You happy with that obviously Bruno as well starts. You happy with that, Tobes? No Greenwood, obviously Martial injured, Pogba in a front three.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as happy as you can be. I just don't hold out much hope, really. Like, Spurs have been really, really poor of late. It's a game I don't expect us to get anything out of, sadly. Having said that, when you've got Kane and Son in your team, you can always, pull a bit of magic out. But yeah, just defensively, Spurs are all over the place. You look at how frequently we play the same back four this year. Like, it just never ever happens. Like this back four, 3 of the 4 have changed from the last game. Aurier's come in. Dyer certainly didn't play the last one. I don't think Rodon played in the last game. I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, the back four just changes week after week. And it's not just one player. It's like it's the whole back four. And I think that's part of the reason why Spurs have been so poor defensively is there's just no continuity there. You hear centre-backs, don't you, all the time talk about how important it is to, have trust in your partner and to play, you think of the best centre-back pairings that we talk about. And it's always, they played with them for week after week after week and you get used to it. So yeah, I would predict, my prediction for the game would be United to probably nick it 2-1.
Seb, what's your prediction and thoughts on lineups?
On the lineup, when hearing that Spurs defence, I don't know about you, Toby, I guess you've covered it a bit there, but that really doesn't scream clean sheet for me. That sounds... Yeah. I know Rodon's been decent in the last few weeks, but that really sounds poor.
Yeah, exactly that. It does not scream clean sheet. I mean, even at the best of times this year, we've not screamed clean sheet. But yeah, Aurier can be a liability. Rodon has been quite good. Dyer has been cast out the team for weeks and weeks and weeks because he was making so many errors. He's now straight back in a big game. Reguilon's been the best of a bad bunch back there. But yeah, I'd be shocked if we kept a clean sheet today.
Oh, Whiz needs Lacazette to miss out to get Lingard captain. Whiz, Aubameyang misses out. We know that. He's not playing today, so Lacazette very likely to. Go on, Seb. Carry on with United Spurs.
I could see a 0-0 just in terms of that Spurs team doesn't excite me too much. Man United have possibly grown a little weary. I don't mean necessarily actually tired, but they've maybe fallen off a little bit in recent weeks in terms of stats and performances. Yeah. The impetus is going to be on Man United to go win the game, right? Mourinho's not going to, apart from maybe his customary first 5 minutes and then trying to do something later on, he's not going to be looking for more than one goal in this match. So if Man United can't find a goal, I don't think Jose is going to care. I really could see a 0-0 unless Man United, a Bruno long ranger 20 minutes in maybe makes the difference.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think what you would say is this feels like a bigger game for Spurs than it does for United. Unless Spurs win today, you could probably kiss goodbye to the top 4. Whereas if United were to win, it's not actually that big of a deal. United are probably going to have second place sewn up. They'd have to have a pretty catastrophic end of the season to not certainly get in the top 4. So yeah, this to me feels like a game that Mourinho's got to go out and win. A point's not enough really. And yeah, a loss I think kicks us out of the top 4.
I think we might have some action.
We do.
Oh, is it my boy? Please.
So Leicester on the attack. I think I'm just ahead on time, so I'll give it to you. So Thomas hoofs it upfield. It is a hoof. Vardy runs the channels as he likes to do. Oh, good tackle there from Valbuena, out for a throw-in. But it is going to be, we definitely got drama and we definitely got a goal on the way. It's currently 3-0 West Ham. What way will this go? We got Souček with the ball in the middle of the park. Plays Masuaku, just neat passing. But he's played it back. Iheanacho on the edge of the box, left foot. No assist will be given. It's Iheanacho. Kelechi. It's wildcarders 7, non-wildcarders 0.
Oh, it's a great finish, to be fair. It's a really good finish.
After yesterday, wildcarders probably being a bit disappointed. Would you say today, so far, more in their favour? Lingard, Iheanacho?
I'd say wildcarders were still fairly happy yesterday, though, if they brought in Salah and captained him, as many did. But I guess the Chelsea clean sheet wipeout.
Banger's got Iheanacho on his bench as well. Oh, great news.
There was a lot of Sterling captain, though, I guess. Or maybe that was just the few people I follow on Twitter. I feel like there was a lot of people wildcarding to make that move.
Yeah, fair. So no assist. Masuaku just plays the ball back to the edge of the box. Blind par. That's shocking from him.
That's bad. That's really bad.
So poor.
He's literally not looking, is he?
He's been guilty of some sloppy defensive play and passing in the past. He's obviously got bags and bags of talent and Moyes likes him. But other managers have not given him the time of day because of those lapses of concentration.
So he's played left wing a fair bit in the past, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he is a left back, but he's been played left wing quite a lot, or wing back, because of his defensive frailty, shall we say. Iheanacho just played in there. Iheanacho owners can count themselves very lucky there for that assist.
Tell you what, though, another Leicester goal in the next 10, 15 minutes, that is going to put the Willies right up West Ham, given they relinquished a 3-0 lead a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this second half, I mean, we're only 71 minutes in. It's dragged, doesn't it? It feels like the game should be over, but I mean, we've still got 20 minutes for them to get a couple of goals here.
Yeah, they're not out of it by any means here. I'm sure West Ham fans are chewing some nails at the moment.
Question for you then on both these teams going for top four.
Hang on. Ricardo gets the assist, I think, according to the chat. Don't know how, because it was, how does Ricardo Pereira get the assist for that? Come on, surely.
What? He doesn't. Surely. What?
Oh, he does according to the app.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Is that just an...
I don't know. So does he get a touch? Is the assist given because it's a Masuaku pass back, but actually it's kind of a semi-tackle and Ricardo nudges it? Or is it the pass before Masuaku is from Ricardo?
So in terms of FPL, he has to get the last touch, right? Apart from the whole crossing into the box, intended target, deflection, blah, blah, blah. But in the case where he's trying to tackle someone, he would just have to, because he's not intending an assist.
It's never an Opta assist. But
that
for
would be
an FPL...
Classic Batici, like Jota quite clearly gets a touch on it. FPL are like, no, we're not having that. Bloody Pereira gets nowhere near the ball. Batici's got him. Yeah, have the assist. Typical.
Yeah, but to be fair, I did have Jota captain, so I was marked off by 6 points and potential bonus.
I'm gonna need to see that again. I guess.
Guys in the chat, will you let us know? I know it's on the site. Everyone's clarifying that it's been given. We can see that, but we don't understand how it's been given. So if anyone's got like a still image of it, tag us on Twitter, and I'll be checking that out. I really want to know where that assist came from. Our only thought, Seb, I'm thinking, is that he nudges it from the pass back.
Indeed, I'm guessing maybe it's not a red because you've seen this already, but that could be a second yellow for him there, right? I mean, chopping Bowen down in the middle of the pitch.
For Mike Dean, that's a yellow all day long, but he's not given it.
I mean, that wouldn't be an unfair yellow. It's very much I'm going to stop this break.
Yeah.
It's a Fernandinho foul.
He definitely gets a yellow if he's not already got one, I reckon.
Yeah.
I mean, for a DM not on a yellow, it's a good yellow to take, but maybe not the wisest when you're already on one.
Why is Maddison not in the squad, Manish says? Apparently, rumour has it, a bit of a house party going on with Chowdhury and the boys. Same reason why Perez isn't in the squad, and Barnes, although he's injured, but apparently they're all at a house party together. Masuaku was coming in. Okay, no, just trying to see. Apparently he nudges it.
No, fair enough.
Can't wait to see the screen grab of that. That is brilliant. Finally, Ricardo delivering. I mean, that probably just about brings me into positive points for Ricardo, to be fair. He's conceded 4 goals and got a yellow.
Okay, question for you two. Both these teams going for top 4 or thereabouts. What do you do in the summer if you're West Ham or Leicester?
If you get top 4 and you've got Champions League football next year, because then you can attract talent, right?
Yeah, I guess, you could consider both scenarios, right? I feel like West Ham's the more interesting one. Let's say they do get top 4. What do you do?
there's only one thing they've got to do, and that's lock Jesse Lingard down to a permanent deal. Because to be fair, like Manchester United are possibly, and I never ever thought this would be the situation, but are going to be thinking, hang on a minute, there's a player in there. Like, should we get him back? Because why wouldn't they do that? Maybe
yeah, but if you lock him into a deal, his form dips. He's only playing for a contract.
Ooh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Iheanacho with another shot. Oh.
They paid a $3 million loan fee for Lingard, which I found really surprising for West Ham. Or it might have been $2 million, but yeah, they paid a couple of million for this loan fee. But I mean, great business. But so Tobes, what do West Ham do? You give the answer for West Ham, and I'll give my thoughts on Leicester if they get top four.
I think that, jokes aside, getting Lingard on a permanent deal is probably quite crucial. I also think just looking at their team today, like the 11 they can get on the pitch is pretty good. You actually look at their bench, they have got no depth in their team at all. Like looking at the bench today, they've got Benrahma, who's probably the best. They've got David Martin, Ben Johnson, Connor Coventry, Nathan Trott, Ryan Fredericks, Frederick Alves. These are all names I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And it's like playing Champions League football, having to rotate your squad, playing decent teams in Europe.
Or Europa League,
squad
which is more likely.
Yeah. If they get in the Champions League, if they get in the Europa League, even that squad's not going to cope with it. They're going to have to just invest. I don't even think they need to invest in like really, really good kind of marquee players. They just need some players that can come in and do a job and give a bit of relief to their key players. You know, when Antonio's out, who's your number 9 going to be? Cresswell's out now. Have they got is Masuaku going to do a job there at left back for them? Maybe, maybe not. They just need more depth, I think. And there's probably a lot of players in there at the moment that maybe aren't up to it if they were to pick up 3 or 4 big injuries and need that squad rotation playing that you do need when you play in Europe.
I think that backup number 9 is like one of the hardest positions to sign for any club. We've seen West Ham sign Sebastian Haller and that not come off, despite him being great at Frankfurt and decent now over at Ajax. I wonder if
Leicester did it.
Brentford, something like that. What with Iheanacho?
It's one of the few, isn't he? But they've got to be young and they've got to be.
It took a little while to come off, though. Do you reckon? They signed him. It wasn't recently.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. But but
we'll see what happens when Vardy's actually done, whether he can step into that role.
You sign an even Tony, but he will happily go if he's going to get minutes. But if Antonio is going to be first choice and he's sat on the bench, I don't know if he does. It depends if Brentford are playing Premier League football, I guess. But you'd rather go to a team in the Premier League that you're absolutely nailed to start for. I mean, this happened. West Ham did this a few years ago. They bought in, was it Hugill from Preston? Was it Preston? Or was he at Preston? They bought in a Championship striker for good money and he just sat on the bench. Who was it? Was it Hugill? Let us know in the chat. They bought a Championship striker for about 15 million about 2 years ago, and he just hasn't played, and he's since moved to another Championship club.
I guess if Antonio's your number 9, you probably can say, look, you are going to get minutes, especially in European competition and money, right? If you can, like you say, if Brentford get promoted, maybe fair enough, you stick that out for a season. But I feel like that type of player is also, the way he plays, I think, suits this West Ham side.
Yeah. I feel like Leicester are way better set up for playing Europa or Champions League football. I feel like West Ham have just overperformed massively. It was Hugill, apparently. Thank you, Molo. He's at Norwich now, yeah. And did he sign from Preston? Let us know. But Leicester have got the squad.
So what do you do? You're Leicester manager then. You get 4th. What do you do?
You definitely need another forward because of Vardy's age. I think, for now. And also, I'm not sure Iheanacho is going to be good enough for a European playing team. He's definitely good enough to play in the Premier League. And then I think you just try and get a bit luckier. I don't think Leicester need many signings, but their injuries this year have been ridiculous, right? They've had Soyuncu out for so long. Evans has had a few injuries. Pereira's been injured for a lot of time. James Justin was their best player till he got injured. Ndidi's missed minutes. That always happens. But with Maddison and Barnes, when Leicester are full strength, they absolutely deserve to be top 4.
Yeah, I think we saw at the end of last season, the injuries probably stopped them getting top 4 again. Maybe similar to West Ham, that problem of signing backup players. Leicester haven't done a terrible job of it. You look at your Dennis Praets and Mendy's and so on, who are probably second choice when everyone's fit. Whether they're performing maybe to the same level, I don't know. But like you say, can you convince someone who's going to perform to almost the same level to come in and be a second choice?
Guys, I've just seen the assist. I'll tag you both on Twitter. Louis Ashton has tagged me. Thank you, Louis. I take it all back what I said about Mount. Oh, Leicester on the attack here. It's Vardy getting a bit of space down that left-hand side, Vardy. It's definitely Vardy left, Iheanacho right, because Iheanacho wants to cut in on his left foot. He probably can't play on the left. Ricardo with some good feet on the edge of the box, Ricardo. Little 1-2 with Tielemans. Ricardo's in. Oh! No! So close. So close. Could it be a pen? But Ricardo.
Oh, he was in. Is that a pen?
I'd need to see a better angle, but he's missed a big chance there.
Oh, Batici in the mud.
Is it a pen? It's not a pen.
Oh,
It looked quite pen-like.
Ooh, no, it's not. But he doesn't get the ball, does he, Fabianski? But I don't think he gets Ricardo either.
I think he does get the.
No,
I think he does get the ball.
He does get the ball. Yeah, it's a good bit of goalkeeping.
What a pass from Tielemans! That 1-2.
Yeah, he gets a big chunk of the ball.
He plays it onto Pereira's foot, I think, doesn't he, Fabianski? Yeah. That's I don't think that's going to go down in stats recorded because he hasn't taken a shot, has he? But that is a big chance missed.
Yeah, that's why Ricardo Pereira is in your teams, ladies and gentlemen.
I was expecting when you were like going, oh, Pereira's in here, expecting him to have the ball like 45 yards out with like 8 players between him and the goal.
Jamie Vardy there as well, nearly. I'm assuming you've seen this, but the more classic Vardy chance there, ball played through and Fabianski just beats him to it.
Yeah, would have been a tight offside call, that one as well.
I've just tagged you both on Twitter because Louis tagged me from that assist. And yeah, Ricardo, fair enough. It's not a Masuaku pass back. It's a Ricardo tackle. Does well there. The assist is fair. It is accurate. Oh, West Ham making some changes. It looks like young Ben Johnson's coming on for Martin Noble, who has played 80 minutes and run himself all over the pitch and did pick up a knock. So,
Did you know, I think Ben Johnson is Ledley King's cousin or nephew. He's one of those two things.
Okay.
Cousin or nephew. Someone in the chat can probably verify.
Interesting, yeah.
Good pedigree though.
Yeah, good shout on the Ricardo assist. Looking at the angle that we've got on Twitter there, it's a pretty clear lunge and tackle. So yeah, fair shout.
Well-deserved Ricardo owners. Although there's probably about 10 of you. What points do I get? This is the Ricardo show, isn't it?
3. I think you're on 3, right, for Ricardo?
Yellow card and -1 and -2 for both goals, so -3 plus the 2 for minutes. No, that means I'm on 2, doesn't it?
No, you'll be on +3 for him.
Two for playing the whole match. Lose 1 for a yellow, lose 1 for conceding 2 goals, 0, 3 for an assist.
Oh, sorry, I thought West Ham had scored 4. Is that disallowed goal that got me? Yeah, so if they can't afford another goal to be conceded, but yeah, points all over the place from my boys. Iheanacho scoring, Lingard scoring, probably the 2 players that are the highest owned for their club, maybe? No, Iheanacho won't be.
Jamie Vardy's probably higher, isn't he still?
Yeah, Lingard definitely will be though. Maybe Cresswell pushing him.
Yeah, and Cresswell of course did go off, but then West Ham went on to concede anyway.
Yeah, but would they have done if Cresswell was on the pitch? That's the big question.
Probably.
Probably
impossible to say.
King's cousin. Good job, Molo. Molo, I'm pretty sure it was you that let us know about Hugo playing at Preston and from Norwich. You are on it.
Nice.
Can we see another goal here? West Ham 3, Leicester 1, 82 minutes played.
I don't fancy it. I don't. Yeah, the game kind of feels a bit tepid now. Like, I don't know. Obviously could be a goal. I don't know. I'm going to put my neck out and say it's going to finish 3-1.
Yeah,
West Ham are very happy to take it, aren't they?
Oh, I know what we've not done, which we usually do at 60, is bonus points update. So, Lingard, of course, is on for 3. Bowen for 2. And then Iheanacho sneaking into the BPS. Tobe's laughing.
Sorry, Jan, I didn't hear that. Say again.
Lingard, Bowen, Iheanacho in that order.
Iheanacho? I'm quite surprised Iheanacho snuck in there.
Yeah, they just do. Like Watkins got 2 yesterday. Oh no, joint 3 with Trent. He ended up on 3 Watkins just because he scored. Forward scoring. Bowen subbed off. Ben Rama getting some minutes.
It's also pretty cut and dry already, isn't it? Like the gap between Iheanacho on 1 and anyone below him is 11 bonus points in the system. So that's not really going to change. You wouldn't have thought unless something quite major happens.
Yeah, unless there's another goal, those 3 are fixed.
Yeah.
I guess no clean sheet either side, and then the team that are winning have probably had they've had less possession, probably fewer bonus point scoring actions. So it really is the goal scorers. Hence Iheanacho being up there as well. I think he's only had a couple of shots, one's a goal.
Yeah, Donald Miller asking, is Aubameyang out later? Yes, Donald. It was tweeted from David Ornstein late last night that Aubameyang and Smith Rowe were not making the matchday squad.
They were probably at the house party with Maddison.
Yeah, en route to Sheffield, David went via Leicester on the M1.
I feel bad about that. He was on the bench in the Europa League, and I think I remember saying, "Oh, that probably means he'll pretty much start in the Premier League." Is he just not in the squad at all?
Seb in the mud.
I know.
Seb, I think quite a few captained him off the back of that. I've seen quite a few in the community bringing in Aubameyang for a 4-point hit and captaining him.
Seb's got blood. Seb's got blood on his hands here, hasn't he?
Oh, if people have, I'm really sorry.
I've massively got blood on my hands for Sterling. I said it on the FPL show and on my team reveal vid. If you're on a wild card, I'm so surprised. I said, I've seen so many wildcard drafts, none with Sterling. It's a no-brainer to bring him in and captain him for 1 week and then move to Son.
Really? See, I mean, Leeds were lucky. We were 2 shots, 2 goals. We were so lucky. But in terms of Man City, their XG was only just over 2. We know
Sterling was rubbish as well.
Yeah, but he had the chances. I mean, he always has the chances, doesn't he?
That's kind of my point. Like, for Sterling to really return in that, I feel, and like Leeds, so before the game, I think everyone is still stuck in the Leeds conceding loads and loads of chances.
Yeah, and you did tweet that, didn't you, midweek?
We are okay now. But I think that applies again to the Man United game coming up. Like, I captained Kevin De Bruyne, so don't get me wrong. I still thought Man City were a good option, but you just need to know what you're captaining against, and you were no longer targeting a bad defence. We're pretty much mid-table now for defence. If not, I think we were 7th best in the last 6. In the last 6. So looking at Man United in a couple of weeks, we've got Liverpool as well, but everyone will go with Kane. Looking at Man United, Bruno is the obvious option. And sure, it's probably still the best option. But just be aware that Leeds' defence is much improved. We restricted City to 1 good chance for the goal, another 1 for Sterling, which he shanked wide. But otherwise, it was all Fernandinho long shots, to be honest.
Yeah, he was shooting a lot, Fernandinho. I was quite surprised to see that. Go on, Tobes.
No, just like it makes you laugh and cry at the same time, doesn't it? FPL Architect on Twitter sold on his wild card, sold Dallas, sold Lingard, sold Bamford, sold Watkins, everyone he bought blanks. You've literally lost out on about 45 points there, 50 points.
Oh, is that on a wild card? Not hit.
Yeah, that is on a wild card.
What gets me though is all the people moaning about selling Dallas, which is fair. If you had started Dallas, then you've got a squad in a pretty poor place. He was your 3rd sub and you know it, so don't moan about it. That's my take.
I think that's reasonable.
The stat was Dallas is 42% owned in the top 10K, 39% benched him.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the right call. Like, and they probably put him, most of them probably were on 3rd bench.
Yeah.
Like, your squad's got to be in serious trouble if you're playing Dallas versus City, hasn't it?
I think it would be fair to say that still owning Dallas is fair enough. Even maybe on a wild card, maybe, because there were some good Leeds fixtures to come. Yeah. Maybe if you can survive the next 3, you just hold on to him because you like him. Benching him was probably the right decision, wrong outcome. So then maybe if he comes off your bench for, say, an Alonso or something like that, fair enough. You've kind of lucked into those points, especially considering he had 2 shots, 2 goals, one of which was like a pretty generous long shot as well. But if you had him on your bench, you kept him for the future, you kept a strong player on your bench, I guess that's what strong players on the bench are for.
Yeah. Albrighton, by the way, could have gone down and it was a close call for a pen. It's Masuaku again. That's what I remember Masuaku for, playing left back and why he doesn't play left back. It's not just the lapses of concentration. It's the fouling, and he does it. He's conceded so many pens in his time, Masuaku, but he gets lucky there not to concede. Jared Bowen, by the way, given man of the match, which I think is fair.
I was going to say that's an interesting one.
Do you think
maybe I'm too focused on Lingard? I wonder if
one was a tap in and one was.
Well, one was tap in, one of the. But then, I mean, the way Lingard has been playing, like we've seen him not get many chances, but his running is really creating that space. I don't think it's unfair. I just maybe would have given it to Lingard, but Bowen's up there as well.
I mean, that second Lingard goal that was the tap in was brilliant work from Bowen to stay on side, run the channel, and then square the first time ball.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that, yeah. But yeah, Lingard, what did we say Bowen was? 5.9. I can sell Gundo for 5.8 and I've got 0.1 in the bank. That's going to be one I look at, but only if Antonio's out long term or for a few weeks. I don't think Bowen gets in that 11 when Antonio's back. He will, of course, start Antonio if fit. And Fornals ain't going anywhere. Moyes loves Fornals. And, of course, Lingard starts. And it is only a front 3 if they're playing wing-backs. So...
Question for you. Are you doing that just because you can't get Lingard and fancy some exposure, or are you doing it on Bowen's own merits?
The former. I can't afford Lingard, and I want to target that Newcastle fixture, and I want West Ham cover. But yeah, if I could afford Lingard, I would. But my plan always this week was to sell Gundogan to a midfielder, and I've got 5.9 to spend. I was actually considering Neto next week. Again, I'd need to see where he is. But yeah, there's not too many under 6 million.
I think we might have some action here, boys.
Ooh.
Leicester have got a corner. Albrighton whipping it in. Cleared by Souček. Let's have a look. Albrighton whipping the ball in again from the right. Just loops up.
I've seen it.
I just heard you. It's got to be Nacho again, surely. Albrighton. No.
I'm ahead of you.
Okay, yeah, you go, Jan. You talk us through it.
Well, I've got Johnny Evans at the back with the ball. Tielemans halfway line, but it's 90 plus 6. We've just been told 6 minutes at a time. Albrighton.
I would fully believe Lingard hat-trick.
Yeah,
so would I. That.
Albrighton's got the ball. He gives it to Tielemans. They are 40 yards out. West Ham are sitting deep. It's Albrighton on the right, whips it in. Oh, is that an own goal or is that Iheanacho? It's a goal. Possibly Iheanacho, possibly own goal. Kelechi's probably got that.
That's definitely Iheanacho.
That's Iheanacho.
Get in there.
Nice.
What's his ownership, Tobes?
Let's have a look.
I mean, I don't want top 10k.
Ownership 7.6%.
Okay, that was probably 3% a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? It's probably doubled, and then some.
Yeah, it's good. I'll tell you what, I could see West Ham conceding here again.
There's 5 minutes left.
Yeah, there's still 5 minutes to go. It's going to be an absolute back to the wall job now, isn't it? It's good finish,
it'd be good for Chelsea a draw, and for any of the teams chasing top 4. I guess
it would.
Draw's good.
Yeah, it would.
The person top of my work mini league wildcarded this week. Pretty template squad. Your Mendy, Holding, DS, Alexander-Arnold, etc. Got Lingard, got Salah captain, got Iheanacho. It's a good wildcard. I mean, it's pretty. I don't mean this disparagingly. It's pretty template, but it's coming off right. You've got points from Alexander-Arnold, points from captain Salah, points from Lingard, and points from Iheanacho. There's going to be a lot of people with those players.
Yeah, most wildcards I've seen, Masuaku in the book. Have all those 4 actually, Seb. And Tobes has got 3 of them. G Wiz is saying loving his wild card. I think he's probably got all 4.
Yeah, I've only got Alexander-Arnold. I would say that is I've got Watkins coming off the bench, but that's not going to be enough. I would say that's a wild card that possibly wins my mini league. So fair play.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in my mini league, the 4 all above me have all wild carded this week.
Yeah,
definitely the swing, wasn't it?
This is looking like quite a good game week for me in that mini league as well, because Banger behind me is on 23. Doesn't have Iheanacho, doesn't have Lingard. But no, he does have Iheanacho, but he benched Iheanacho, which seems a bit weird.
Does he come on though? Has he got Man City players or?
No, he won't have anyone. Everyone's played. He's got Bruno, Holding, and Veltman and Lacazette, who are all going to probably play.
He started Veltman.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Veltman versus Everton, and he could have started Fofana. I know easy to say now. I would have probably started Fofana over him.
Yeah, I started Pereira over Veltman. Veltman's on my bench.
Yeah, it's all a bit strange.
And he doesn't have triple. He's just wildcarded, and he doesn't even have double Spurs for next week.
No, it's well. I think he listened to your advice, and he's gone Sterling, isn't he? Like who's going to swap straight out for Son? But then he got Neto, who got injured. So that planned transfer has already ruined him because he now needs to take a hit.
So this is the guy we're speaking about, the only guy in our mini league that can beat Toby to success. And I've been sending him voice notes all week, giving him advice. Mate, definitely buy Sterling. I know Toby won't have him. Buy him and captain him.
So he should be doing the opposite of what you're saying, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he probably should. I mean, he'll claim that he was going to buy Sterling anyway, but he definitely did it because I told him to.
I can't believe you've been voice noting Banger all week. You had a go at me.
You've been voice noting Nick. The fact that Nick and Healy, the other 2 above me in the mini league who are mid-table, the fact they've both wildcarded this week and they're not even on FPL Twitter in the community, they only know about the fixture swings because Toby's been in their ear because he wants me to finish 5th.
I think you're going to as well.
5th out of 6th, I should add. Out of 6. Leicester on the attack here. There's 2 minutes left. They're looking at Vardy down that left-hand channel every time. But yeah, it's overhit and it's a goal kick. Moyes is not happy, but I think they'll see this out, won't they, with 2 minutes left?
That Iheanacho goal is going to put him on 3 bonus points, isn't it?
On 3 over Lingard.
He's on 61 BPS, whereas Lingard and Bowen are both on 42.
Ouch.
So there's every chance, Lingard gives away a foul or gives away the ball or something. He could drop to just 1 bonus. Iheanacho looks pretty nailed on 3 unless something happens in the last couple of minutes.
That is a massive return for Iheanacho on the wild card, isn't it, Tobes? How many points you got?
It's big. Not a huge amount.
No, from Iheanacho, you'll get.
From Iheanacho, as it stands, as it stands, I think
13, 12 or 13, yeah.
As it stands with bonus points, it'd be 13. Yeah,
big. For a 5.7 forward, huge.
That's the thing. Like, if he'd blanked today, you're sitting there, you're kind of going, "Oh, that's a shame." But it's Iheanacho. He's 5.9 million. Like, get over it. He's not double the price. To get 13 points out of a 5.9 million asset is happy days. All ends up.
Seb, what's your transfer next week? Do you bring Iheanacho in? Do you bring Bowen in? I mean, I like the look of both. I said they were the two I was looking at, and they've both performed big.
Nick Pope to Hugo Lloris.
You want triple Spurs?
I think so.
I've got Hugo.
I've got Emi Martinez as well. So Martinez plays in 33 when Lloris doesn't.
We know
he has. Is it West Brom or something?
Yeah.
And then Lloris has got decent fixtures for the rest of the season, whilst Martinez hasn't. So.
Do you want that much money on your goalkeepers for the rest of the season, Seb? You'll have two 5 million plus keepers.
So ideally, no, but Forster doesn't quite work with that either. With the fixtures to come, I would like to take more money out. I'd probably then lose Martinez after 33, but we'll see what happens with other transfers. But I think while, of course, Lingard super attractive, I feel like the better move for just where my team is at. Oh, what have you seen?
Wow, big chance. Pereira involved.
He could have gone down for a pen there. He stayed on his feet twice. He could have gone down for a penalty.
And then look at the ball he whips in. Oof. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, Pereira should be in your FPL team. I know it's not happened today, but these points are coming big for Pereira.
Well, Kasper Schmeichel's up.
Oh, Fofana. Oh, inches wide. Look at that, guys, when you see the replay.
Absolutely clinging on it, West Ham.
It's full time, whistle's gone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh!
I mean, that header, there's little power on the cross. He's got to generate the power and he goes near post.
Fabianski doesn't move, though.
Fabianski's ever getting beaten. I mean, from behind the goal, oh, yeah, no, fair enough. Maybe if he gets that just inside, it's a bit high and wide. Yeah, Fabianski was further over than I thought. Fair.
So who is your transfer in, Seb, next week? What's your plan?
Hugo Lloris probably. Like I say, not trying to avoid Lingard to prove myself right or anything like that. I think he continues, right? I think he could well regress, but he still keeps scoring points. He's not going to regress to 0. But just for my team, I have, if I was getting Lingard, I've got Son, KDB, Gundogan, Rafinha. So lose one of them for Lingard. I don't think I could do a straight swap, say Rafinha. I'm not sure because I've used my money now. So I think the more sensible transfer without taking a -4 is just getting Hugo Lloris in for Nick Pope. And then, look ahead to the next few fixtures for West Ham. If Antonio's fit, he's the one that, I'd happily get Lingard as well. But he's the one I've always had my eye on, simply because that's a very easy Bamford to Antonio move.
Yeah. Tobes, what's your take on transfers for next week? What's your plan?
My plan is to roll. Obviously coming off the back of a wild card, I started this week with triple Spurs and no City, knowing that I didn't want to make a transfer next week. So I would have 3 Spurs for the triple and then not have to worry too much about the double. My plan is to go Reguilon out for probably Dunk for like a 1-week punt. I think Dunk's playing against Sheffield United. So then I'll have Kane, Son, and I've got Davis, the Villa striker, on my bench. So I'll still be able to get 11 out in game week 33, all being well.
Guys, loads of you enjoying the show. Thank you. Please do like this video and let us know in the comments, not just the chat, but the comments, what you thought of it. Improvements, suggestions for next time, how much you love it. Do please tell us. Also, follow these guys on Twitter. It's been an eventful game at London Stadium. We've definitely picked a good fixture for it. It finishes with a West Ham win, 3-2. Big returns for key men in FPL, Iheanacho and Lingard. They get the headlines, along with a massive 3 points from Ricardo Pereira. It's been great having you guys. Please do watch again, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Cool. Sorry, guys. Thought I'd just round it up.